sound good. You sound good.
Okay. Well, I've
All
got
right,
external
guys.
speakers and no headset, so.
No, man, we're rocking and rolling. Good morning, everybody. It is 8:03 a.m. Central Time. I want to keep you guys at Caliber Corner 57. We are back. We're going to have a good show for you today. We're going to have a good time. We got some really important topics. We're going to veer a little bit away from straight up firearms talk, and these are all viewer suggested topics for today. We're also going to do a couple drawings at the end for the 10,000 subscriber giveaway. We're going to give away a Burris Fastfire 2. If you want to enter the drawing, all you got to do is go to my 10,000 subscriber giveaway video on my video feed, on my video list of videos on my channel, and click on that 10,000 subscriber video, leave a comment for a future topic of Caliber Corner that you want us to discuss, and then after that, you're going to be entered in the drawing. That's a video I'm going to pull for the random comment picker. We're also going to do a little Gun Channels care pack we're going to give away with some patches and stickers to one lucky winner. G-Web sent me a whole bunch of cool stuff when I ordered a patch from him on eBay, and we're going to give that away to a person too. By the way, the Fastfire 2 is donated courtesy of SS Pond in Lexington, Nebraska. Stan out there wanted to support the channel. He also gave us a Leopold scope to give away when I hit 5,000 subscribers, I think, or maybe 1,000. It was just about a year ago when we did that. So it was really cool to be able to give some stuff back to you guys. But anyway, I want to welcome you to the channel. Let's go ahead and take attendance here and see who's with us. Over on the Gun Channel side, there's already a lot of chatter going on. I mentioned something about bacon pancakes on each side, on Gun Channels and also YouTube, and people are just going nuts talking about bacon already. So John is over there on the Gun Channel side. Patrick's over there. Let's see, Daniel Pfeiffer's over there, and let's see, Paper Plane Crash is joining us here pretty soon. I think he's on right now. There he is. So we got a pretty good little crowd over there on gunchannels.com. And over on the YouTube side, man, let's start up at the top and see who's with us. We got Scott P79 was the first person here. John Z, David is there, and David is here. Mad Sexy Man of the Night. Calaveras 32 SPCL Specials with us in the house. Anybody else join in yet? Ozzy Osbourne's out there. All right, cool. Oh, Fit and Fire, good morning, sir. Hello. Gen Z2A's with us. Yo. Blue Steel 44 Squibbies out there. Squibbies here, Squibbies everywhere. And Sean Newman's joining in. Tacos and French fries, of course. Someday I'm going to do a table talk review of tacos and French fries. All right, let's go and let the panel introduce themselves, and we'll get this party started. Let's start off on my right, because age comes with wisdom. Squib, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing okay. I'm on my second. Yeah. I'm good with it. I'm good with it. I do make less mistakes, but I still make mistakes. So getting older does have some benefits. Yeah, I'm on my second cup of coffee. So
I'll tell you what, when you grow a beard out and get gray, like, people open doors for you. They call you sir. They're more kind and polite to you, more patient with you. They're always steering me over into the Depend section at Walmart when I'm trying to find an insurer. I'm just kidding. All right, so let's go. What is new in your world? What have you been up to lately, man? Yeah.
About the beard, I was wondering if you'd do a video on whether or not facial hair improves accuracy or not, because
okay, I think it does, because when it's freezing cold outside, you just stay warmer, so you're able to focus on the things that are more important than, oh my god, my chin's freezing, my cheeks are freezing, So I noticed that I'm able to endure cold weather better with the facial hair. That's why I'm just going to just start to let the mane grow out. Yeah.
And they already do. They already do say "sir" to me in public, because I'm so old now. I go everywhere with my walker and my Colt walker.
Okay.
So
all right.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. So just looking forward to the show. Thanks for the invite. Thanks for the blue wrench, even though I don't know how to use it, but it's the thought that counts, really. And,
it gives you more options for putting people in timeout. You can boot somebody out for so much time if you need to. You can report them. And it gives you kind of a step up in the food chain of maintaining order in the chat, I guess you could say, over on YouTube.
Okay. Well, no, I just appreciate it. Eventually, I'll use it and hopefully do the right thing. But just looking forward to another good show. And thanks for everybody who's out there joining us this Saturday morning.
Awesome, man. Cool. All right, Sandhill Shooter. Hey, go Big Red, man. Are we finally going to get a game to watch or what?
Weather report for Lincoln is 81 and sunny. So I'm thinking we're gonna be okay here.
Isn't that what it was last week too?
Yeah, but there was a whole line of storms coming through.
I know.
And there's nothing showing up on the radar yet. So
no, we're cool, man. Yeah.
I am a little curious though, Squib. What are you talking about with this facial hair thing? What's wrong with facial hair? Embrace the beard. You ought to think about growing one. I'm just saying.
No, my wife doesn't like the beard.
They
and
get over
if
it.
I have
really, they do. It's the mom and the grandma that really waits a while before they just accept it when they accept you. You know.
Well, even the mustache. Like I can't pull one off like Sarge or Roll Call.
Oh.
You know, I got the axe murderer mustache, not the Magnum PI mustache. So I really wish I could though, but.
All right, hold on a second.
No,
all right, speaking of mustaches, we need a moment of silence. Burt Reynolds, gone. The Smokey finally got the bandit. Hold on. Okay, we can go on. All right, go ahead. Sorry. Okay, continue.
No, I'm always gonna wonder if I had a beard, if I'd be a better shot. You know, I've grown it a couple times, and it doesn't look good on me anyhow. But you know, I can't pull it off like you guys. But yeah, the wife don't like it, so. It's just not going to happen. Although I could say I need the beard for deer season.
Yes.
Make sure I bring some venison home.
There you go. There you go. Yep. Awesome, man. So Sandhills, what is new on your channel, man? What can we expect to see? What's going down? What kind of videos you making? When can we find you?
You know, it's kind of sporadic right now. I think we are gonna get something organized for something on Tuesday nights after Hit or Miss. So be looking for that. I don't know if we'll get that in by next week or not, but we're going to try. I am actually taking suggestions for what to call it. I think I'm going to put that video out sometime over the weekend here, just asking for suggestions. So don't throw them out in the chat so much. I might not see them all today, but you can email me or go comment on anywhere on my channel. Actually, a great place to go would be on my Facebook page. Just go to Sandhill Shooter on Facebook. Let me know name suggestions for a Tuesday night show. We're going to talk about, kind of just a little bit of everything. But here's what I'm thinking is, as far as anything new is in the political arena, Never Enough Ammo and even Night Strike are going to cover that pretty well. And so is kind of everybody else through the rest of the week. So I will touch on stuff like that, but I want to kind of get into stuff that isn't really being done. What makes the people, if anybody joins the panel, what makes them tick? And not just what's your favorite gun, but I want to know why.
Okay.
Do you hunt? Why? That kind of stuff. So topic suggestions, they don't always have to be Second Amendment related or gun related. But just topic suggestions and name suggestions, send those on, put those on my Facebook page. That would be appreciated.
Kind of the cultural aspects of owning the firearms, or how it makes you feel on a personal level. Why is it that you feel the need to go out and hunt, or why is that caliber the caliber you love to shoot all the time, or what is it about that gun that drives your passion to want to go out and do some shooting or hunting or competition, right?
Yeah, that's just cool. Anything.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll just kind of see how the night goes, and it's going to run about an hour and won't go too late, and it's probably going to get started around 9 or 9:30 Central. The only time zone that matters.
You were okay. What night again? Did you say Tuesday? I'm a little
Tuesday is right after Hit or Miss.
Tuesday nights. Probably about 10 o'clock Central Time, maybe 9:30. It depends, because Hit or Miss can go kind of long. It depends on what the topics are.
I don't want it to go too late because I always have to get up and work the next day. So
I got you.
I'll start it by 9 or 9:30 and run for about an hour.
Yeah. Cool, man. Cool. Awesome. Well, I look forward to seeing it. And just, talking about new shows and stuff, Ghost Tactical is looking at launching a new show. I'm going to have to look up and see what it was called again. I just saw us post about it last night, like Armed Citizens Podcast, I think is what it was called, something along those lines. That's something to be watching for, too, if you guys follow Ghost Tactical's channel. So a lot of good shows coming up. I mean, you could listen to this and tune in and stay occupied all the time and get the latest in gun news and gun culture and 2A information and fun stuff. So, all right. So David is with us again. David, is this week 2 or week 3 now that you joined us? Week 3?
This would be 3, yeah.
3 weeks, man. All right. So how you doing today? What's going down, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Just enjoying a nice rainy Saturday over here.
Yeah, That's all we've been getting is rain lately. So, on your channel, are you got any new videos in the works? Anything you're going to be coming up with pretty soon? I did check out your just shooting video where you showed off kind of the general accuracy with your firearms that you and your friends had, your family had.
Yeah, that'll be kind of a running series, I guess you could say.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll do it every week, but I go to the range every Sunday, so
Cool.
then my AR build is coming together pretty good, and hopefully I'll start having what videos I can put on YouTube there.
Okay. Okay.
I'm obviously not going to put it all together on YouTube because I'm not trying to get in trouble.
No, I got it.
I'll go step by step and show everybody how it's
Okay.
working out for me.
Shoot me an email if you get the package that I sent you today. Just let me know that I made it. I didn't get to ask you that in the prior chat. We got that out on Monday or I think it was Tuesday is when it would have shipped out to you. So let me know if you get it. Probably show up today. You'll like it.
Cool. I appreciate it.
Cool.
Thank
No
you. I'll
problem.
talk to you about that a little later.
Going on and get that sucker out in the range and have some fun with it. So
yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Cool. Right on, man. All right, AWAG, what is new in your world, dude? I missed you the last couple of weeks. I don't think you've been on. You've been a busy guy on the weekends.
Super busy lately.
That's all right, man.
Trying to source parts for my Romanian PSL, so I've been going to a bunch of gun shops in the general area. I've been in Pennsylvania, Delaware. Surprisingly, not New York, because that is a no-go zone for me. It's pretty much finished. All I need now is a receiver.
Cool, man. Cool. You're gonna be all set to go. How much total are you gonna have in this package when it's all said or done? Or how much do you predict you're gonna put into it?
Parts alone, probably around $1,800.
Okay.
So it's pretty on par with price wise with what Century may be producing.
Yeah.
But the quality is definitely going to be superior to Century's, because if you guys don't know already, I really don't like Century arms. I like them as an importer, but when it comes to them building firearms, the quality is just not there.
Okay, so I could go get myself the components and manufacture my own C308 style rifle, because I read, the feedback on those rifles, like they the gun's complete when you get it, but it's made from a parts kit. You might have problems with springs. You might have some a really rough trigger. But what you're doing, in my opinion, is smarter, because for one thing, you can kind of spread out when you buy the parts. You don't have to drop a bunch of cash at one time, which not everybody's got $1,800 sitting around to go buy a PSL. Yeah. And two, you can handpick the components and get the best parts for that application, and then do it yourself. And when you're done, you're going to have this awesome machine that you can run that's just going to be, and if there's any problems with it, you're probably going to know sooner what happened because you put the parts in it yourself.
Yeah.
And so there's nothing wrong with doing your own builds. I mean, you're not going to save money, but it shouldn't always be about saving money when it comes to doing your own builds. I mean, you should be able to put the parts into it that you want to,
Yeah, he'll have a lot more fun doing that.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like building an AR. You can spread out the parts over the course of, say, even a year. So it's not all expensive up front, and you'll have something that that you made, and it'll be something that could be in your inventory for a while because you know that you've created it.
Now, this is not a high-end AR off to my right over here, or left, depending on whatever angle you watch this video, but this has parts in it that Squib sent me. I took 6 months buying the parts for this. I had stuff sitting around, and I didn't save any money assembling the lower myself. It was basically a break even versus buying a new one from PSA, but I know how to do it now, and I can swap out the parts if I want to. I can put a different trigger in it. I can put some custom parts in it. It actually has parts from 3 other gun channel members in the lower, which is kind of cool. I was able to put the stuff in it they sent me. So that's kind of fun when you do your own gun like that, if you're comfortable doing it. I'd like to do an upper at some point. I just need to get a parts list of what you need to do an AR-15 upper and just headspace it properly and all that fun stuff. Because I think you could really put together like a really nice barrel and a really cool upper and have some fun with it.
Yeah, here's the thing with uppers is building an upper is a lot more simple than what people make it out to be, especially with AR platforms. When it comes to head spacing, normally you don't necessarily have to head space it. It's more of a it's a feel good measure. I mean, I'm not trying to downplay it, because
if you want to be safe.
Yeah,
sure, exactly.
If you're buying quality barrels and a quality upper receiver, you don't necessarily have to.
Okay.
What does anybody build bolt action rifles?
Stan at SS Bond, he has them built. He'll buy the action from one supplier, the barrel from another supplier, and use the chassis or the frame from another gun, or the stock. There are people that will do it. There's he does it so he can choose a really nice receiver and a bolt, and choose a really nice high end barrel. Something you couldn't buy by itself combined, or if you had to buy pre-made as a custom gun, it would be more expensive. So yeah, that's a very good idea. You start looking at companies like Stillen that makes really sweet bolts, really smooth bolt actions. The trigger work you can get done. I mean, if you want to drop the money in it, do it.
But you're not going to be like John Q. Public in his basement building a bolt action rifle, though. Like you need to have gunsmithing experience.
Yeah, I mean, you should be comfortable with tools, and you're going to need certain supplies tools to join the barrel and the receiver, and rivets. Like with AWAG, having to do the rivets and the receiver and stuff like that. It's going to take a little more. Once you do your first one, I think you'd be more comfortable doing another one.
Of course.
But getting into it the first time, you might want some guidance from somebody that has some experience with it. Or maybe you could spend some time with a rifle builder or sit down and talk to somebody and say, what do you do? How do you do this? Because obviously we don't want anybody to get killed, hurt themselves. But yeah, no. So anyway, yeah. What do you think, AWAG? Building a bolt action?
Building a bolt action. I'm currently doing one right now. You definitely need a lathe, a metal lathe, not a woodworking lathe, because they're different parameters for them. But most of your bolt actions, all you have it's a lot easier to do a bolt action than, say, make your own AR-15 barrel. And by what I mean by that is with all the freaking head spacing is one thing. But with a bolt action, it's a little more forgiving because you have a much sturdier action. Other than that, you need a lathe and maybe, I wouldn't say a strap wrench, but something that you can get a really good purchase on the barrel if you're going to be replacing a barrel on a bolt action.
There we go. So, I mean, you could, David, but I mean, unless you're going to make a bunch of them, or if you just there's a certain barrel that you want with a certain action and it's not available commercially, you can always buy the parts and take it to a competent gunsmith and have them do the work too.
Yeah.
And that might be about the same price as buying the tools that you're going to need to get into it. And you're going to know when it's done that it was done the right way.
Your best bet is, if you don't have a lot of room and you don't have a lot of money, just take it to a gunsmith, because lathes, if you don't have a lathe, then it can get very, very pricey. A good quality lathe is probably going to set you back around $3,000.
Oh God. Yep.
Yeah, I was talking to the guys at the gun shop yesterday, and just threw it out there. Hey, does anybody build bolt actions? And they were like, look, you just buy the one you want, or find a good gunsmith. You're not going to want to do it in your basement.
Yeah. Unless you want to start, unless you do quite a few of them, or you want to maybe start to you want to get a manufacturer license and make a business out of it, or you got a lot of people want you to do custom work. But yeah, I would just say take it to a gunsmith. You're going to be better off going that route initially. Not wrong. I mean, if you want to get into it and learn how to do it, but it's going to be a commitment in terms of finances, space, or, inventory, overhead, and stuff like that, just to do it.
And that's like with me building the AKs, is that was a financial endeavor for me, because I had to buy a mill. I had to buy a 20-ton press, 25-ton press. I had to buy all the tools and tooling needed to drill the holes, to make sure that the hole for the barrel pin was straight and a perfect diameter. I had to make sure that when I go to set up the barrel into the press, that I don't bend the barrel. So I had to make like a sleeve that goes around the barrel so that the barrel doesn't bend. And it's financially, it's worth it for me now, because I'm building multiple rifles for me, and I can't do it for a business because New Jersey sucks. But other than that, I plan on using those tools a lot more than, say, if I just buy like $3,000 worth of parts and tooling, and then just build one rifle and then just never touch it again.
Yeah.
That would be a financial mistake, I would say. So.
Cool, man. Cool. All right, so lots, guys. Make sure you're paying attention to the chat on the YouTube side. There's a lot of good information coming out over there, and then we've got more people joining in on the gun channel side over there too. So let's go ahead. Oh no, hold on, Gizzard Gary's with us. Gizzard, what's going on? How you doing, sir? Good morning.
All right, so far. How about you?
Man, I'm on my second cup of coffee. I'm still waking up. How you doing today, sir?
I haven't even had my coffee yet.
Well, if you need to step away to get one, we understand. Yeah.
I might. Sometimes I sneak over and do stuff while you're on.
Hey, there we go.
Turn the volume up and walk in the other room real quick.
Sure. Like, Gary, what do you think? You come running down. So, Gary, what's on your channel, man? What can we expect to find if we go over there? You got any cool stuff in the works? Anything new coming up? What do you think?
I'm still waiting to get that 357 subscriber giveaway thing recorded. I'm actually at 358 now. So
nice.
It's just time to get her done.
All right. So yeah,
I've had a video for unboxing some stuff that was sent to me in the mail, but there's a little bit of glitch in the video, so I'm not sure I'm going to be able to edit that out.
I wouldn't worry about it, man. Just do what you can. And
well, I did 3 at once, all in one video.
Okay.
Then it turned out one of the 3 was actually mistakenly not mine, and I ended up having to send it back. Or I may have to.
Okay.
I got back with the person who sent it to me. It's like, oh, shoot, I got the packages switched between you and somebody else. It's like, well, I can't put that out on.
Well, that's what happens when you live in small town Kansas. And, you've seen one mailbox on the side of a gravel road. You've seen them all. Just put the box in there. It'll make it to who it needs to,
I'll see if I can edit that out, but I kind of said, well, here's package number 2, and that doesn't really make sense if there's no package number 1 anymore.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, hey, thank you for joining us this morning, man. I appreciate you jumping in. It's an early morning for a lot of people, and I know it's going to be a long weekend for some people, or, maybe a lot of people have things lined up, so it's always good to have you guys on here. Yeah. All right, so real quick, Mad Sexy has a question for AWAG. AWAG, you on point, buddy? All right, so here's what he says. He goes, what if you also like to do other metal work? Can you use those machines for that or just guns? Like, you talk about getting a lathe or some of these machines that you're getting. Do they have other applications if you're a metal worker?
Of course.
Making things because you're buying generic industrial machines, then you're making them work specifically for the firearm, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Most of it is you can buy a mill, an end mill. You can buy a lathe, a metalworking lathe. You can buy a press, and you're pretty much set for anything that you want to make. Like literally anything you want to make. It's just when it comes to the little like tooling that it's more specific. Is normally with if you want to make a precise hole, you don't actually use a drill bit. You use something that's slightly undersized from the hole that you want to make. And then you buy a reamer that is the exact size of the hole that you want to make. And that'll make the perfect hole, like perfect. Because if you use the same size drill bit, see, most of the drill bits on the market today, they're made from high-speed steel or carbide. And when you run a drill bit at high speeds to remove material, it moves around a little bit. Whereas with a reamer, you run it at a much slower speed and you feed it very, very slowly so it doesn't wiggle around.
Overgrind or the vibration of it doesn't exceed the tolerances,
Yep.
Okay. It's crazy. You should make a whole series on just metalwork in general that, you don't have to necessarily tie it into guns so you don't get the manufacturing strike on your channel, but you could show off how these tools work. Or anybody watching that does steel work or iron work or wants to get into any kind of metalworking, it's just good stuff to know. Yeah. So there would be other applications. It's just like a lot of tools. There's going to be some specialty tools, like maybe like a front side alignment tool when you're putting that gas block on, or special. You're gonna need some specialty tools to do it, and those might only be specific for gun manufacture, but for actual, for just general tools, you can find other uses for it, which is good because when you talk about dropping $3,000 on this or that, somebody's going to want to make sure they can actually get some good advice out of it, or get some good use out of it. So,
yeah, and if you have butt tons of money and a lot of space, then you can be able to buy a 5-axis CNC machine and basically get somebody to write a program for you, push a button, and let it go.
Okay, here's another one for you, AWAG. Since we're just talking about it, we'll get into gun safes here in a second. Foulmouth Actual says, go over welding. AWAG, any advice for welding? Is that something a person should attempt to do if they've got something they need to weld on their receiver? What would you use? What would be the smart welding setup to go with?
Okay, I don't have much experience with welding. It's something that I definitely want to learn how to do so that I can make those really beautiful welds that I see some of these fabricators do. Because I want to be able to make a roll cage for my Supra because I plan on autocrossing it.
Yeah.
But with welding, I would say try to find a local community college or a technical school that offers a welding class, and just go there and absorb the information that they have to give to you, or hang out with a fabricator or something. Ask them, like, hey, can you like teach me how to do this, because I think this is cool. Normally they would say like no, but if you like offer them like a case of beer or something, they'll be like, yeah, sure, come over after work and I'll show you how to do this.
It definitely is an art. We've got welding 1 and 2 at the high school where I teach, and what these kids can do by the end of their second semester, by the end of the year, these kids go to state welding competitions. And when they get done with school, they get contracted by construction companies coming out of high school. They go off and get a like a specialist degree at a community college, like a nice 12-month program or 16-month program, and they get done. They can do industrial, commercial. I've had kids go into underwater welding that are working on rigs out in the Gulf Coast.
Oh, you can make tons of money doing underwater welding. It's
really dangerous, but they want that. They got that kind of passion for that kind of craftsmanship. And so when it comes to welding, you're going to want to really practice with it. You need to understand what you're using. Taking a community college class would be the smartest thing to do. Or nothing wrong with shadowing a fabricator or a welder, but get some classroom time, get the books, study, because you're dealing with some really dangerous equipment. You want to make sure you know what you're doing. I would not recommend, I'm just going to say, I would not recommend using a YouTube video to learn how to weld, unless maybe you're using, I don't know. I'm just going to say, I'd rather, when you're dealing with compressed gases and you're dealing with electricity and stuff that can basically burn you alive, I got to say, maybe watch a YouTube video to understand the basics of it, but I wouldn't just go run off to Harbor Freight and go buy something and be like, hey, oh man. We're all about safety on this channel. Let's just get that out. We're not trying to be, nannies here, but at the same time, but again, that's a good question, because when you get into receivers and rails, we were talking about the welding on the PSA MP5. We were looking at the welds they were doing, and a lot of guys were saying, oh, the welding on that's so sloppy. So there's people that know. I mean, there's a certain kind of like pattern and layer to it and form you want to follow when you're doing it, depending on what kind of welding you're doing.
And Calaveras just put this up. He said TIG welding is a lower heat and more controlled, probably better for guns. A roll cage, you're probably better off going MIG or a wire feed.
When I look at roll cages for vehicles, I think they say MIG welding is what they use in the binding of the steel pipes and stuff that form the cage for the vehicle. Yeah.
But with welding, it's definitely something that you want to take slow. And this is what I say to people if they don't understand how dangerous a welder can be. Is like, hey, a welder, it will electrocute you. It will kill you. Not only will it kill you, it'll hurt the whole time it's doing it.
Yeah, it can blow up. All right. So there's the welding 101 for you. All right. There you go. All right, so real quick, let's just go ahead and get into the first topic. Again, these are all viewer suggestions. I thought it'd be kind of fun to put this together. The first one is gun safes. Now, I'm going to say this right now, and this was really cool. I just did a search on this. G-Webs gave me one of the best pieces of advice when it comes to getting a safe. This came up in a chat, somebody else's chat in a podcast. I can't remember which show it was exactly. He said, why go drop $8 or $9 or $1,000 on a safe in a gun store, which might not be as theft-proof as you think? Go to an estate sale, go to an auction, go on Craigslist and see what's available. You might get a good solid bank vault for, pennies on the dollar. You might get yourself something that's a nice old school iron safe, for way less than what you're going to spend on these commercial safes that you're buying at Cabela's or you're buying online or whatever. So what I did for fun, let me just do a little screen share for you here. Now here's the thing, when you get these safes, something you gotta understand, we're talking about something that's going to weigh 5, 6, 7, 800 pounds. Okay. So just for the heck of it, I did a Lincoln, Nebraska Craigslist search just like 25 minutes ago. And there are 6 safes for sale. And here's the deal right here. 2 large safes. There's a Diebold, Diebold, and Mosler. These are nice. Okay. 72 inches tall, 40 inches wide, and 26 inches deep. Now they could have shelves in there that you have to remove. I have no idea what they look like inside. The pair for $275. And these things are made out of like iron and steel. I mean, I would rather spend $275 instead of say $700 or $800 for a 64 gun safe that's only going to hold 32 guns. Now, granted, the one on the left needs the combination to be broken by a gunsmith. So you're looking at, or not a gunsmith, a locksmith. You're looking at $100 to $150 to crack it, right? So then you're only in $450 and you got yourself 2 solid safes. So look around, look locally, ask around. A lot of times you have estate sales. I don't know if you have a farming community nearby, there might be a farm sale, and they'll have guns, they'll have safes, they'll have tools and stuff. Look around before you go out there. Do you guys have any experience with gun safes at all? Any advice you want to give? I was going to talk about a commercial model, and if you're going to go that route, like what features to look for. What do you guys think?
When it comes to safes, just putting this out there, every single safe on the market can be defeated with an angle grinder. It's that's from my experience. Most people are like, insert this model here with titanium plated magicry. But you know, it's one of those things where it'll definitely stall the time it takes for somebody to steal your guns. But nothing is foolproof when it comes to safes.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it'll give you a discount on, say, like a homeowner's policy or renter's insurance if you have a safe in the home where your guns were sorted. And some of these higher end safes have guarantees with them, or they give you coverage on your firearms, or they give you an insurance policy if the safe is, if it gets broken into and it's been legitimately cut into and the guns are stolen. I mean, we're talking about probably a fairly rare, small percentage of people that actually have a safe, like a solid, real gun safe, cracked open and their guns stolen. A lot of times on a smash and grab theft, they're going to want to grab whatever's sitting out as quickly as possible: phones, wallets, purses, laptops, video game systems. That's the kind of stuff that gets stolen around here. It's quick smash and grab. Or TVs, right? You very rarely, I've only heard of one person in the town where I live in the last 17 years that's actually had like their gun stolen, and it wasn't even out of a safe. It was in their gun room at home. So they were just sitting in their gun room. All right. So it is going to be a good deterrent, coupled with like maybe a home security system. You're going to be better off if somebody wants that gun. By the time they get into that safe, the law enforcement will have already arrived. And with an angle grinder, it's going to take some time to cut through these steel lugs, hardened steel lugs that make up the door, because you're going to have to cut off so many of them to get the door off, right? And especially if the hinges are on the inside, you're really going to have a hard time getting through it. Even if you cut the hinges, you still have the lugs. So yeah, let's just say that right now, no safe is going to be absolutely foolproof or absolutely theft proof. They make them really well. But again, if you want to save money, you want to get something solid, go the Craigslist route, auction route, estate sale, look in the newspaper, because a lot of guys buy them, and when they move, they don't want to move them, or they can't lift them, or don't have the manpower to get them out of the house, or the people pass away. And in the house sale, the family needs to sell the safe because somebody wants that space in the room, because some of these take up a lot of room. What other experience do you guys have with gun safes at all?
One of the things that I would mention as far as the safety of a gun safe is the gun safe is really pointless if it's not locked.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I do construction, so I'm always in people's houses, and I've always got to move furniture around and cover furniture up, and you'd be surprised just how many gun safes are just the doors open. Now we're in a little bit different situation for the company I work in. Most of the people know my boss, so they know that we're not going to mess with any of their stuff. But if you pick up the phone book and call any old home repair guy and have him in your house who you don't know, it's probably a good idea to make sure that your gun safe is closed and locked.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. A lot of people just leave them unlocked, and it isn't going to do you any good. And you see, and again, you say you see this firsthand, so it's a common problem. Why you would leave it unlocked just because it's convenient, or maybe
a lot of them are just wide open. A lot of them are just open. Now, like I said, we have a unique experience because it's rare that we go into what you would consider a total stranger's house.
Okay.
If we don't know them, we were given referenced by somebody who they do know.
Okay.
So I guess maybe the trust factor might be there, but that's pretty rare. Like I said, most people pick up the phone book and call, drywall guy John, and have some total stranger in their house.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Something to consider also, you need to make sure you've got the people power, the manpower lined up to get this thing into your home. Some of these places do offer free delivery on safes. If you spend so much, they do curbside delivery. All right. You need help. You need people to help you. These things can weigh. My dad has a 64 gun safe, Canon gun safe that he bought from Tractor Supply Company. It took 4 guys to lift this 550-pound safe with a 2-wheel dolly to get it safely downstairs and mounted in the basement. Okay. So if you're going to buy it off Craigslist, yeah, you're definitely going to run into a situation where you're probably going to have to pick it up yourself. You're going to have to be able to load it, get some sort of a truck. So think creatively or get some sort of help lined up so you can get that thing. Now the Tractor Supply Company in town does offer the curbside delivery. They brought it to his home and left it in the driveway when he was there. And then he got the help and they got it in the house and downstairs. But some of these, so I was looking at like a 75 gun safe weighs 650 pounds, 700 pounds. Especially if you're talking about going downstairs, which I'd imagine a lot of these are going to go, I wouldn't recommend you lock it in your garage unless it's climate controlled. But definitely make sure you've got the manpower lined up to get it moved. That'd be the one catch about the Craigslist is you're not going to get the delivery. But again, you can, even if when it's all said and done, you can still score a really good deal that's going to be hundreds of dollars less than what you're going to spend if you go in the store. I know, Squib, what do you think about gun safes? What's kind of your take on it? I mean, we all know we're going to agree it's basically a deterrent, but not a preventative, a complete preventative.
Well, I've got 4 safes.
Okay.
First one I got about, I think I get it in 2000.
Okay.
And I've been adding since. I've got 2 upstairs and 2 downstairs, none on the main floor. Now, the upstairs downstairs is really just to deal with the fact that I've got a small house and that most of my gun stuff is downstairs anyhow. But from the deterrent aspect, if you're a criminal and you want to get what's in that safe without damaging it and you want to get it in possibly the most secure thing, you're going to get the safe out of the house, take it to a secure location and cut it open there. That's not to say you couldn't cut it open in the house, but the longer you're in the house, the greater the chance you're going to get caught. So to get them up and down the stairs and then out the front or back door of my house and get it into a truck is going to be a deterrent enough because it's a pain in the butt. Especially with the doors on the safe and the safe's full of guns and whatnot. They're more than what the advertised weight is. So eventually I would like to have all my safes and reload stuff in a garage. And at that point, I would pull the bottom panels from each of the safes and anchor them into the concrete floor of the garage. Mm-hmm. The bolts are all inside. You can't get to them from the outside. So once again, it's a pain in the butt. Not impossible to rip out. Not impossible to crack the safe and get in there and cut them from the inside. But at that point, you've got access to the safe. So what do you really need it for? So there are ways to just slow somebody down. Another thing is they say they're fireproof or waterproof. They're really fire resistant or water resistant. Enough heat will burn or warp what's inside. Enough water poured into the space will get into the bottom of the safe and flood it. If the safe is upstairs and it crashes through 2 floors into your basement, the contents could be damaged. The door could pop open. It's hard to say. So what that really is there's different ratings as far as
fire ratings.
How long at what temperature will the safe provide protection from the contents, or how deep of a level of water will the safe be in before the water finds its way in, or something like that. When you get a safe, you can sometimes find them where they're double fireproofed. My very first safe, I ordered it, and they had a few options you could pay extra for, and I paid for double fireproofing, so I think I've got 90 minutes on it versus I think the original was 30 or 60. So those are different things you can look at when you're getting a safe. As far as having them delivered or picked up or moving them, my very first safe I had delivered to work. It had freight damage. I made a claim with the trucking company, and they cut me a check for $200. It was superficial. There was nothing that affected the functioning of the safe. It scratched up the paint job. And the freight company is the one that said, how about $200? Yeah, sure, whatever. I just took some flat black spray paint and, whatever.
Touch it up.
Before I left work, I actually brought it into the building with the forklift, put it in a weld booth, and I welded reinforcements to the bottom.
Oh, nice.
Of the safe,
nice.
Made it weigh a little bit more and make it a little bit stronger if I was ever going to anchor it down in the future. Threw it in the back of my truck, took it home. If you're going to move it with a dolly, I recommend using a refrigerator dolly, something with a wide plate on the bottom. It's a little bit easier. I also recommend you go get those inexpensive 1-inch ratcheting straps. Strap it once or twice around the dolly. Strap it on there tight, and you can bump it up the stairs or down the stairs one level at a time. You can have one person below or two people below and one person above. Just make sure that you're aware that your stairs are strong enough to handle it. I've hauled them up, a flight of stairs into an apartment. I've hauled them down a flight of stairs into a basement. I've moved my safe so many damn times. And the thing is,
an art, man. Yeah.
Originally, it was get a friend, give him a case of beer, and have him help you push this thing on and off, or up and down, I should really say. But my brother-in-law used to be a mover, and he said, "I'll show you an easy way to move that safe." And you take the door off, and that's one thing you're going to do normally anyhow when you move. If the door is removable, for example, my heaviest safe is 550 pounds. If you take the door off, it comes down to 300 pounds empty. You take the door off and move that separately. That's a 150-pound door. You actually lay it on its back, and you pick it up from the top inside and the bottom inside with both hands, and you can just walk right down that hallway. You can go down a flight of steps with it. And I'm like, damn, I should have been doing this from the get-go. So if you're of reasonable health and reasonable strength, and you got a little common sense, and you're communicating with the other guy, and you're taking it nice and slow, you don't even need a dolly to move some of these safes. Now, obviously, the bigger ones, the 700, 800, 1,000-pound, the ones that are bigger than a refrigerator, you're not gonna. You might want to hire professional movers, but my heaviest safe is 550 pounds. My lightest big safe I think is 350, and then I've got the half size safe that's I think is about 150 pounds. So they're all manageable. They're all movable. That does make them more stealable, if that's a word, but it also makes it where I've had to move these things by myself with no help before. And that's what for me, that's what I need to be able to do. Yeah. I'd rather have one big giant vault in the basement, but until I win the lottery, that's not going to happen. So there are ways to make it practical to have a safe that you can move, especially if you have to move around a lot, or you're starting out in an apartment and you start to get a collection of guns, and then you start to get kids and you go, what am I going to do? I do not recommend getting a gun cabinet. Those things are crap. It's better than nothing. I mean, just like putting cable locks or trigger locks or something on your guns in the closet and leaving them empty when you have kids is better than nothing. But a security cabinet, you can pop that thing open with a screwdriver in the house and leave the thing behind and steal the guns. So, and there's no fire resistance. There's no flood resistance on the security cabinet. It's still better than nothing, though. And a lot of people who don't have kids, a safe isn't really a consideration. But if you've got some more expensive guns and you really think about it, you're not home all the time because you're working, a safe might not be a bad investment. Now, I did what you said. I went on Craigslist. I did Craigslist Detroit, and I looked at a bunch of safes. They were either cabinets, which I instantly shy away from, or they were legitimate safes. But all these guys wanted the same price as what I could pay if I went to the store. Now, they probably have the price marked up because they know they're going to get talked down. Yeah. So I'd say with Craigslist, you've got some negotiating room. I've bought and sold on Craigslist. I'm not a big fan of it, but I've negotiated. And
it's a resource,
Yeah. When I just want to just get rid of the thing, if somebody wants me to come down $100 and I just want to get rid of it and they got cash right there, all right, fine, just take it. Just get out of here with it. So I imagine that's probably why some of these safes are that price. But my recommendation is if you're going to get one new, shop the sales. If you've got a Bass Pro or Cabela's in your area, a few times a year, they've got some really good safe sales. And if you get there when they open, there'll be a line of people out front. You go, what the heck is going on? They're all there to get the safe or something else that's for a really good sale price. The Fall Hunting Classic, they send out flyer after flyer, and they do put safes in them. But there'll be that one sale where they got the safes really cheap, and they've only got, say, 14 in the store. You're lined up outside the store, and as you come in through the turnstile, they give you a little ticket. If your number is 14 or less, you're one of the first 14, you automatically have a rain check for that safe. You can go shopping around the store and go in the back or go to the sporting goods department later and show them your number, and they go, oh yeah, we've got a safe reserved for you. And then, you pay for it, and you go around the will call in the back, and they'll load it in the back of your truck. And that's another thing too. If you're going to try to move a safe with a car, it ain't happening. If you're going to try to move it with a station wagon or an SUV with a hatchback, yeah, it'll work if you can fold down the seats and that sort of thing. I really recommend a pickup truck.
Yeah, or a trailer if you can tow a trailer with your SUV.
Oh yeah,
nice
trailer and a bunch
low trailer that you can load it up on, like just whatever.
But yeah, trailer and a bunch of straps. But one person can actually tilt the safe onto the back of the truck and slide it on there. If you don't have a bed liner, get something to slide it onto so you don't scratch it up, some cardboard, something. But if you've got a bed liner, you can tilt that thing and push it yourself. Same thing coming back. As long as you've got a decent level surface to put it on, you can slide the thing so far to the edge of the tailgate, jump down off the back of the truck, and tilt it down and slowly let it come down. If you're careful, the whole lift with your legs, not your back thing, et cetera, you could actually move it yourself. Then you can spin it around like you do a fridge, put it onto a dolly, strap it to the dolly, tilt the dolly back, and take it into your house. Yeah. And you can actually move it yourself. So for those of us that sometimes can't get that friend, even with the case of beers bait, or it's just, imagine your schedule's off from theirs, then that's an option if you have to move it yourself, or try to get it to a secure location like inside a garage or shed or under the deck or something like that until later in the afternoon when you can get your buddies. Yeah. But I bought two at Bass Pro Shop, and the one I did get there when they opened. I called them and said, hey, do you have a will call? How do I get this? It was the first time I ever bought from them. And the guy said, look, dude, if you can get out of work, get here at 9 a.m. and get a ticket from the guy at the door, because we've only got 14 of these in the store and they always sell fast. Okay, I never knew. So, that's what I did. The second time I just went into the store and just bought something they had, but it was on sale, but it wasn't for a great price, but it wasn't a bad price either. So just that's a little tip based on my experience buying safes. And I'm not opposed to checking out Craigslist again, but if you shop the sales, you can really get a good price.
Yeah. We've got a lot of suggestions popping in over on the YouTube side. Get a guard dog, get a good dog, get a dog, get a guard dog. Good locks, nice, steel doors, home security system. There's a lot you can do to back that safe up, when you pick it up, to really make sure it's going to be safe. Sean Ponder had a couple good suggestions. The plain view furniture that you can get, like the coffee table that doubles as a gun storage unit. A lot of people would never think there's a gun there, or the mirror that's built into the wall, or there's a lot of hide in plain view types of pieces that you can buy these days. I don't know if they're locking or not. I don't own any of them, but I've seen them before where like the mirror slides over and the guns are behind it. That's another good route too, depending on what you have, depending on how many guns you have. You might not have to get yourself a safe. Also depends on whether or not you get kids in the house, people come over, yada, yada, yada. Other good suggestions: don't announce it when you're going to go out of town on Facebook. Show the pictures after you get back. That definitely makes a big difference. Watch out who you hang out with, know who their friends are. I wouldn't necessarily take them downstairs and show them your gun room, because their buddy that's over hanging out might be like, let's see, you're gone 9 to 5, Monday through Saturday. I might just come over Monday morning for a little bit, especially if you don't have a dog or don't have any kind of a security system at all. I mean, you could get really inexpensive home security systems. A lot of them are linked to Wi-Fi, so you get a message whenever somebody comes in the house. Some of them can be set up so they're automatically linked to like Brink's Home Security. So you've got a lot of options for, keeping the place safe, obviously. And the kind of safe that you buy, or the level of money you want to spend on a safe, could also depend on what else you have in the home. You got a couple Rottweilers, a couple Pit Bulls, or a couple German Shepherds, or, a good dog in the house. That's going to really help out a lot for starters. And then, obviously the alarm system and this and that. But yeah, when it comes to safes, so let's just say you decide to go commercial. You want to go to a store and buy one. I just want to do a quick screen share. My dad bought the 64 gun safe version of this right here. This is from Tractor Supply Company. He bought the 64 version for $800. This is the 75 version. It's Canon. I'll just tell you right now, it is solid. It's thick steel. It's got like 12 locking lugs that are, 2.5 inches thick, hardened steel. And it does come with the door pouches and all that fun stuff inside. And it has lots of different ways that you can set up the shelves and things like that. So if you want to go this route, Nothing wrong with that. If you take all the shelves out, it has like U-shaped shelves you can put in it, 3 layers deep, so that you can put like, I don't know, 12 guns wide, all the way back. You can put 36 rifles in it. Probably run into is with things like ARs and larger rifles is the mag wells poke into the guns that are resting up against them. So you can basically expect to get half the guns in the gun safe that you're buying for. So 75, I would say realistically, you're looking at 35, 36 guns, but it depends if you have optics on them and stuff. I would say buy bigger than you need if you're going to get one, but also understand you're going to be getting yourself into a heavier safe. My dad's also has this little key panel here in the front that just uses a battery. The battery's good for so many years, and it'll let you know when the battery's about to die. It does have a memory backup for the key itself. I don't know how you get into it if the keypad system fails, but these Canons, the Canon safes have been out for quite a while. And
Travis,
yo, what's up?
One of ours is a digital. It's a Sentry. That's the small one, and it does have the batteries are inside the door for the keypad, and the keypad, same thing. It chirps when it starts to. Every time you use it, it's warning you, "Hey, I'm running rogue." There's a rubber plug on the side of the keypad, and you can plug a 9-volt battery into it to temporarily energize it to open it, so you can access the battery panel on the door. This one's probably got the same thing, because a lot of these safe manufacturers get their locks from the same company.
Same supplier.
Yeah. But that's a nice safe, man. I concur with you about getting about half as many guns in there as they advertise, though.
Yeah, he uses the shelves because he's got coins and ammo and not a lot of guns. I mean, he's got mostly pistols and a couple ARs in there and stuff. But it's a good deterrent. It does have the nice steel cover that covers the lugs, which is good too, which makes it even harder to get into. Again, it's just more of a deterrent than anything. But the steel is, and it's a hardened steel. I'm sure if you're creative or you know tools well enough or you're a pro, you could break into it. But again, it gives him peace of mind that when he's not home, that it's going to deter people from getting in. A couple things you want to look for. So that one's 75 minutes at 1200 degrees Fahrenheit. That's what his has. It also has a rubber seal that will seal the gun safe shut if the temperature gets hot enough. And that prevents smoke from entering the safe to protect the safe. It also has a lifetime guarantee against water and fire damage, because I think realistically the company knows how many people are really going to have a house fire that's going to cost them a gun safe. But they offer it anyway, which is cool. Like this one weighs 655 pounds for a 75 gun safe, 32.8 cubic feet. So, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, and if you want to go Liberty or you want to go whatever, you've got the options for whatever your budget. I think an entry level Liberty that I was looking at Cabela's was like $300 or $400 for a 12 gun, just kind of a baby safe, but it was a full on safe. I mean, the thing weighed a lot. I think it weighed like 300 pounds or 250 pounds, and it's just like a little 8 or 9 gun setup, So you can get into something, but again, you got a lot of options. So hopefully we've given you some good advice for which route to go, but also understand what you're getting yourself into with moving it, weight, how to move it safely. Take Squib's advice, get the supplies you're going to need to move it if you don't have them, or go rent a dolly and get the tie down straps for it if you don't have them.
Yeah, you can rent the dolly at a U-Haul. I don't know if you can rent them at Home Depot, probably.
I bought mine at Harbor Freight. I bought a 600 or 700 pound dolly for $27. I wouldn't use it to move more than maybe. Oh, it's just one of the little coupons that comes on the catalog, and it's got it's got the inflated like off-road tires on it. We used it to move our washing machine downstairs and it wasn't that the washing machine was really heavy. It was just that it's a front loader, so they're really deep, and it was a pain in the butt for me to get it. I actually had a buddy help me safely get it down the stairs. But it only weighed 275 pounds, but it was like 36 inches deep. You couldn't just lift it and take it in the house or walk it. It was really hard to get it in the house. Yeah. So I got this monster dolly, which is good because I find myself needing to use them once in a while. Now, I'm not going to, I wouldn't want to move more than a few items with it, but you can spend whatever you want on a dolly. You can go get yourself an industrial one for $150. If you want to go that route, go ahead.
Nice magnesium one for about $800. Yeah.
Get one, buy one early, especially if you're a new homeowner or you just want to invest in one and just have one dolly you're going to use the rest of your life. That would definitely be the way to go.
Something else I thought about with safes, I didn't mention, if you plan to add more guns to the safe. So let's say you're getting your first safe or maybe your second safe, and you've been buying guns and you're going to be buying more guns. Depending on what kind of guns you buy, will determine the size of the safe you want to get, not how many, but what type. For example, I've got a straight pull Mannlicher. It's a World War I Hungarian Mannlicher. It's the longest rifle I've got. It barely fits in the safe because of the length. Another safe, I've got a cutout for the longer barrels to protrude up through the top shelf. And my my Mossberg shotgun, it's got a 28-inch barrel, I think, and it pokes up through that opening. If I didn't have that opening, I'd have to put it in a different safe. Some safes have shelves on one side, and they're open up for long guns on the other. Some are open up for long guns all throughout, and then they've got a top shelf. Some of the shelves are removable, some of them aren't. Some of you can configure it, and other ones are just set up for long guns only. So just think about, if I'm a milsurp guy or I'm a musket guy, even though, I mean, I guess you really wouldn't have to lock up your muskets, because who's going to do anything with those? But if you want to protect them, think about the longest rifle that you may possibly potentially buy in the future. It's on your grocery list, and look at, will that fit in this safe? Because at some point you may be tucking it in back there. So
yeah, no, that's good. You want to think about the measurements. Yeah, if you're a milsurp guy, like Mosins are long rifles. I'm able to get mine in my safe, but I have to push it in at an angle and pull it up and lock it over on the side. So, and I sometimes have to pull multiple guns out just to get to it, just to get that angle I need to get it out of the safe. So
and then you got one with a straight bolt, and you got another one with a bent bolt, and you're trying to overlap them. And
if you get whatever you can, obviously, you don't want to exceed your budget, but get a larger safe than what you think you need. It's more convenient. And if you have a mix of guns, again, mag wells, optics, all these things are going to make that gun sit out further than it would. If it's a U-shaped shelf system where you stack them in a U shape, you're going to be overlapping each other, bumping it. So I have to put all my 22 LRs across the back, because the ARs sit on the sides, and I do keep them with magazines in the mag wells, not one in the chamber, but the AKs and the ARs, they sit on the sides, and they kind of sit in front of the 22 LRs. And then I put the milsurps up in the front because they're the biggest pain to get in and out. So that's, one way you can do it. But yeah, think about the layout. And that's another good one. Are you just a pistol guy? If you're just a pistol guy, you're going to want to go a different route. Maybe just get something that's shelves only. You're going to want to maximize that space, get those dividers, those little shelves that you can set them in. But yeah, that's a good one. I never really thought about that. Are you even going to get the gun? Because you might get the safe almost like, oh, I can't use these shelves, or, well, that's wasted space. I need the room for more rifles, and there's only a little shelf on the top. So look at the flexibility of what they give you for options. And
if you start packing them in, you'll notice they're going to start bumping and scratching. Hickok 45 did a video about gun socks. You put them on your guns when you store them. Well, I tried that. I've still scratched the wood. It's, I've had a bolt go through and bump, and even though it didn't cut the gun sock, it did. But overall, though, for dust or general bumping into each other and scuffing, I try to put gun socks on everything. Most of or all of my handguns in the safes are in cases, either plastic or soft cases, more to protect the finish. Well, that takes up more space. So suddenly now I can only fit 3 handguns on this shelf instead of 4 or 5. If I just threw them in there, laid them out or whatnot, I could stack them on top of each other. And if you see some of these gun stores, when they close up at night, they're pulling their inventory and they're wrapping them up in a towel or something like that and laying them on a cart, and they're taking them in the back to lock them up and whatnot. You could do that. If it's not a gun that you're trying to get to in a hurry, you're just storing it in the safe. You could try to do something like just put a sock on it or wrap it up in something so it doesn't take up as much room as a plastic case.
Yeah.
But if you are going to store them that way, you'll find out real quickly, dang, I'm running out of room.
And also get yourself some sort of dehumidifier for the inside of the safe. We talked about this last week. Desiccant packets, like with ammo storage, you can get active dehumidifiers that you can stack on makes one that you can plug in and charge. And when the silica crystals turn orange, then you take it and plug it back in. A fan runs and dries them all back out, and then you sit it back in your safe, and it'll do the same thing. So, you want to control the humidity and kind of watch where you put the safe. If it's real muggy and humid, you're going to want to store your gun safe in the driest environment you can, if possible. That'll cut back on the maintenance you have to do with cleaning the guns off and wiping them off and wiping out the barrels so you don't have to worry about rust. So that's just another thing, too, just to moderate the humidity level. All right. So Vandaliska Vlogs is with us today. Good morning, sir. How you doing? Let's go ahead and continue then. I think we've given some pretty solid advice on the gun safes, which route to go. The next one is going to be security cameras, home surveillance systems. I actually helped a buddy install a Walmart purchased system about 2 weeks ago, and I'll show off the system that he bought. What was going on is he's got 4 vehicles parked out in his driveway. 2 of them are pickup trucks that he's restoring, and a couple times a year, his vehicles get egged. kids, they screw around. Small town, kids mess around. And the last time it happened, they smashed several eggs on the hoods of both pickup trucks. And he didn't discover it quick enough. The next morning, he went up to his vehicles, and the clear coat had eaten through to the primer. And these are vehicles he had painted himself. He had just got done painting one of them a week before, and then the other one he painted last year, and it destroyed the paint on both hoods. And so he got to do the enjoying thing of sanding and priming and repainting again the hoods. And so he said, you know what, enough with this. I'm going to go get a home surveillance system. So we're looking at them, and I'll just say this right now, depending on how we're talking with cameras, okay, outside cameras. You can spend whatever you want to spend, but it is amazing what you can get for your buying dollar. Just real quick, do you guys have any experience with home surveillance systems at all? I'm not asking you to reveal what you have in your home, but do you guys have any experience with them or any bits of advice? Because I've got one I want to share that I think would be a good entry-level system for somebody that wants basic protection. What do you guys think? Anything at all?
I have experience with commercial security systems. And okay. I mean, your home system is more or less a poor man's do-it-yourself or scaled-down version of the same thing. I mean, you got cameras. You can mount them in different locations. They're indoor, they're outdoor. You've got a DVR. You've got, you can tie it into alarms. You can have it, where you can monitor it on your cell phone. You can have it where you pay a monthly service for a monitoring, company. But, you can tie in your fire to your Berg. You can tie in a carbon monoxide if you wanted to. There are all kinds of, and you can go through different services, whether you want to go to one of the bigger companies or whether you want to go through your cable company, or there's all kinds of different things. I mean, you can go to Sam's Club and buy a complete setup. So it's just a scaled down version of the commercial system that a business would have. Yeah. But all my experiences with commercial stuff.
Okay. AWAG, David, any experiences with home surveillance systems at all? Have you ever installed any or looked into them, or, you might live in an area where everybody has something. I know a lot of people just get a Brink system with the motion sensors in the house. Webcams are becoming big now too, little Wi-Fi webcams that send a constant signal to your house. What do you guys think?
The one that I saw that I thought was pretty cool is the Simply Safe. Have you guys heard of that?
It's just like a tower that uses the cell phone signal and motion sensors, right? Is that how it works?
It uses Wi-Fi enabled cameras as well, motion detected cameras. So as soon as it detects movement, it starts recording. It's completely, from what I know, is a completely wireless system. So you could if you were to buy like a really old house from like the 1930s, you could it's literally plug and play.
Yeah. The base unit has a motion sensor in it, and it's got the cell phone connection, and it's got a battery backup to it. And with me, I didn't know if I wanted to put this on my channel, but I did show the Nest system that we installed in our home. And I want to talk about that real quick. Now, granted, it was $300. We actually had it given to us as a housewarming gift from a friend. Because we have an older house that has plaster walls, our house was made in the 1950s. It's hard to want to drill stuff. You want things that you can stick. So we looked at Simply Safe. Since we got the Nest system, we obviously use it. First of all, it does have a battery backup. It is Wi-Fi connected to the cameras in the house. It's Wi-Fi connected to your app that you run the system with. We also paid the extra money per month and have the cell phone connection, which runs through Verizon, and it does so even if you cut off the power to the house, the battery will last 12 hours. It's still able to connect to the door sensors. The door sensors are battery powered. The cameras are battery powered, and it also has the cell phone connection. So even if you shut the power off to my house and kick the doors in, the sensors are going to tell the base unit there's a door open. After 30 seconds, it then triggers the alarm. It records when the door was open, and if the system's not deactivated within 30 seconds, like punch key deactivated within 30 seconds, it sends an alert to our phones. Now, we could pay an extra $10 per month, and it links to Brinks, and Brinks will call us if the system's triggered and we don't disarm it, so we can get that extra monitoring if we want it. We don't have that right now because my wife and I have our smartphones with us 24/7, and it'll send an alert to the phones using the app. Now, for $300, it's cool because you get 2 door sensors with it, which are motion activated, and they're also door sensor activated, like a separation from a magnet. We also have window sensors, and they're $40 a sensor. You can start to drop a lot of money into it, but once you get yourself set up, it's really not bad. It does have a locking plug that goes in the wall. So even if you cut the power or tear the plug out of the wall, If you destroy the base unit, it doesn't matter because it's already sent me a signal that the house has been broken into. So the only way you could really defeat it would be like a total grid down system where the cell network's not working, Wi-Fi is not working, internet's down. So no matter what you do, you could get into my house, but there is no way, unless I miss that warning that the alarm system's gone off or that the alarm system's been triggered, I'm going to find out you're in my home. And so that gives me some security, which is cool because we didn't have to drill anything. We didn't have to run any cables or wires. So for the interior of the house, I like that. And it does match up with the camera doorbell. You can get anything that's Nest compatible. You can add it. Carbon monoxide sensors, water sensors, fire alarms, all that stuff can be tied in with the system. You can have up to 8 door sensors on one base unit. The only catch on that is you've got between 50 and 75 feet of you don't even have to have line of sight because it's using a radio signal, but 50 to 75 feet is the max. So I'm able to get one on my garage door. It goes right through the window and it does link up, which is cool. I got the garage door covered. The side door to get in the garage. So I'm not nervous about talking about this because if you break into the house, it's going to trigger the alarm. But that's a cool system to go with. But you're looking at, when it's all said and done, $500, $600, $700, not to mention small monthly fee costs of around $18 a month. If you want the cell signal service and you also want the professional monitoring. But again, it gives you peace of mind, but then again, you got to think, well, I don't have anything valuable in my house. I've got a $500, deductible on my homeowner's insurance and renter's insurance. So, maybe you're just going to play the gamble. If somebody breaks in and takes my TV, I'll just claim it on insurance and get a new one. So that's kind of my experience. Now, with my buddy, the system that we got, I will go ahead and just show you what we bought or what he bought. It's the Night Owl system from Walmart. Okay, he wanted something he could install himself. He's pretty good with some basic carpentry skills. If you can use a screwdriver and you have access to your attic, you can basically run the cables to set this system up. So it's $300. You get 6 cameras with it. The quality of the cameras, it has night vision. It uses thermal sensoring to turn the cameras on. I'll just say this right now. You have absolute complete control over every aspect of the visual portion, the colors, the sensitivity, which cameras turn on, how much motion you want to allow. And you've got a 1 terabyte DVR. And what's cool about this is it's also app enabled, and it'll record 30 days worth of 6 camera footage before it cycles out. And when it cycles out after 30 days, it'll go back to that first day and override it with a new first day. So when it resets itself, you're not going to lose all 30 days. It overwrites the day's worth of video footage. You can have it set up so that it sends you a text message every time the camera goes off if you want, or you can have it set up so that if there's excessive motion detected, it'll send you a text message. You got an app so you can watch your cameras in real time. You have a login on a computer, you can watch it in real time. And this was $300. Now, the 3 reviews give it 3 stars. I read the reviews. They were complaining about the app being sluggish or glitchy. A lot of that's going to depend on your phone. If you're using a low-end smartphone, it might not show video very well. If you don't have a good Wi-Fi signal or you don't have a good cell phone signal, there's going to be delays in that video feed getting to your phone. Just like watching a YouTube video on your phone, it doesn't always spool up instantly. So he does have that set up. Now, the only catch with this is that, if you want the cloud service, you have to pay extra for it, like $30 or $38 per month, if you want the video to be stored somewhere. So if somebody kicked your door open and came into your home and they know where that DVR is, they could destroy the system and there goes your evidence of what happened. But for an overnight setup where, say, the vehicles are getting vandalized, he goes out and sees the eggs on the hood on his car, he can go back and look at the video footage of when the cameras were turned on and see exactly who did it. And they'll record the whole time that they detect motion up to like 10 seconds afterwards. And I'll tell you what, the nighttime footage is amazing. It's black and white, but it's very sharp. They're 1080p. The thermal sensitivity is awesome. You can adjust it however much you want. We were playing around with it, and when I walk up his driveway to go to his front door, the cameras turn on and it starts recording. So it's going to help him. So for $300, for less than the price of what it's going to cost him to repaint the hoods of his car, his vehicles, his trucks, all right, he's able to have a home security system that's going to give him some peace of mind. So what do you guys think about a system like that? What are your thoughts on that?
I know a couple of people that use trail cams, strategically placed around their house. So if you obviously you go past the trail cam, it's going to take your picture.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. That'd be true. Can those trail cams record any video footage? Do they have any on-off Are they strictly snapshots? Maybe you can buy a nicer one with some full motion recording.
Yeah, as far as I know, I think they're small clip. I think one of the top line ones or whatever might have like short clips, but you're not going to get like a half an hour long video.
Oh yeah. One thing about just installation on the Night Owl system, it was 2 cables. Well, one cable that's like a 2-sided wire that's joined together. You just got to drill a small 1/4-inch hole, run the cable up through it into the attic, which goes over to the central location where the 1 terabyte DVR is located. The setup on it was insanely simple. That's what surprised me. When you plug the unit in, it tells you exactly what to do. Okay, hook up camera 1. Let's test camera number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Create an account. Let's set up your account so you can view your footage. All right, download the app, sign into the app. I mean, we did it. We had everything up and running, not mounted, but up and running within an hour and a half. And this includes taking everything out of the box. So for home surveillance, it's a good entry-level system. And the cameras are a nice heavy-duty plastic with good, clean, clear lenses on them and stuff. I was really surprised with what you get for $300. 1 terabyte hard drive is nice too. I mean, there's no guarantee that hard drive is not going to fail, but it gives you some peace of mind, again, that you can keep your house safe or you can watch for unwanted intruders. It's got, I think, 180-degree, 160-degree viewing angle. It's kind of a fisheye lens, but it's on a large area. It doesn't distort or anything like that. So trail cams, another cheap option. I know a lot of times Walmart will clearance those out at the end of the deer season. The home security system for $300. Not a bad idea. Any other thoughts on that at all, guys? Home surveillance systems? I mean, you can go with the Brink system that's got the motion sensors and alarms and stuff. You can get a Nest system.
Well, if
when you're speccing it out, check the rating on the cameras that you're going to be putting on the outside of the house for temperature.
Oh yeah.
Believe it or not,
yeah,
not all cameras can handle the cold weather. When we installed the camera system on the outside of the building at my job, they shipped half the cameras that were rated for cold weather in Michigan, and the other half were not. And the first really cold day, half the cameras froze up, fogged up, couldn't see anything out of them, didn't send a signal at all to the computer that was controlling the system. And when they went up on the bucket truck to figure out what was wrong, they're like, they shipped us the wrong part number, but they looked the same. Like, why wouldn't they just have them all rated for cold weather? But just something to look out for.
One thing about that Night Owl system, it does compress the video, so it takes up very little space on that hard drive. Now, the 30 days that my buddy is getting, that's with just general on-off. That's not full recording. That's just the system coming on when people come in the driveway, coming on when people leave in the mornings, people around the house. It's getting a decent amount of usage, but he's able to get 30 days of running time out of it. But Sean Ponder, he was saying, like, 8-channel system, you're looking at 7 days, depending on how you're recording it, 1080p, the video feed, how much video it's recording, and so on. So, yeah, I mean, you should be able to get at minimum a week, up to 30 days, depending on how the system runs. This one doesn't. It does compress the video, so that, I mean, it doesn't affect the video quality when you're looking at it, but it compresses it so that it's able to take up less space on the hard drive. But again, if something happens, you may know the next day or know within a couple days, or if you have an app that sends you a text message when a camera turns on and you weren't expecting somebody to be walking up to your front door. And then there's also those smart doorbells too that you can get. And I know people can hack into them and stuff, but I got a friend that has one and it works really good. It's like the Ring system or whatever they're called. Anytime somebody walks up to the front door, it turns on automatically. You can talk to them through the speaker built into the doorbell itself. And it's hardwired into the doorbell wiring, but it's got a really nice camera. It is a bit overly sensitive. Like sometimes, like if a dog runs through the front yard, it'll turn on, or if a big vehicle drives by the front of the house or pulls up in the driveway, it'll turn on. But that's what you want. It's better to have it than not have it, and that's kind of my opinion. So, but yeah, installation. Yeah, go ahead.
One of the things that I see around a lot are the smile you're on camera signs. And there's no camera, but that sign right there is going to make people think, uh-oh, maybe they got one hidden somewhere. It's like if you go into Walmart, you see all those black balls hanging from the ceiling. Those don't all have cameras in them.
Yeah.
A lot of them are empty. They're that deterrent to say, hey, maybe there is, maybe there isn't. Do you want to take that chance?
Mm-hmm. I know in the baby formula aisle, apparently that's a high theft item. They've got those active cameras with the screen, and that camera turns on and it lights up when you walk down that aisle where the baby formula is. That camera now turns on. I think it might also do it in the cell phone section. It's like, hi, you're being recorded. And you can see yourself, and it's like, hey. First time I saw it, I was like, is this a joke? And then I'm like, oh yeah, baby formula, $15 a can, $20 a can. Yeah, I can see why, somebody might not walk by and drop it in a purse or a bag and walk on,
That's actually a great idea, David. I've been trying to figure out what to do about all the dog poop I have in my yard, which I don't have a dog.
Dude, it's not me. I always pick up dog poop. I'm not kidding, because I live in a neighborhood. I respect people's yards. But when people don't do that, and it could be a couple stray dogs coming by too. I mean, we get that.
Not.
It's not? Okay.
It's not. There's a ton of people that walk past my house walking their dog every day, so I'm thinking it's not. But I think that just that sign that says "Smile, you're on camera" might be a pretty good deterrent for that. I don't even need. I've been trying to figure out: do I get a game camera, put it up on the tree outside? It's just
I would. That'd be awesome, man. Put it up for a week and then just take it down.
How do I keep my camera from walking off? I mean, yeah, I can put it on a cable lock or whatever, but at the same time, I mean, what am I going to do there? So yeah, maybe just put that sign up and see if that cuts it down.
Hide it in the bushes. set it on the ground or something. I don't know. Yeah. Man, that would be so annoying. I know, because it gets bad sometimes, and yeah, especially if there's multiple dogs going by, or yep. So that'd be another option. But again, so home surveillance systems, it's whatever you want to spend. You can always contract out and have a professional system installed, but a minimum decent system, $300. Our Nest system was $300 or $400, and it came with the 2-door sensors, and we've added more to it since then. And it's just, again, it's more peace of mind. It's how important is your stuff to you? That's a question that you need to ask yourself.
I mean, it really comes down to prosecution and recovery in some cases, but that's better than not having any closure at all. And if you can recover your items, especially if it's something like that gun that Grandpa handed down to you, you can't put a price on it, right?
Something I used to do it once a year. Now that we've been in this house for 2 years, I've got pictures of everything in the house that has a serial number on it. The TV, the game systems, the computers, the guns. I have photos. And again, this isn't home surveillance, but this is a nice little preventative maintenance. All the tools in the garage, a lot of that stuff has serial numbers on it. I have pictures of everything. I just spent a day taking photos of everything. I loaded it into an album on my computer, burned that up on a CD. Yeah, I use that. I have it on a memory card. I have it cloud stored. I have a copy of it at my grandpa and grandma's house in case our house burns down. So I've got proof of everything I own. And then usually once a year, I'll go through and take pictures of new stuff that we purchased, and I'll go through and delete stuff that I don't own anymore. If I added any guns, I just add it to that file. It's called Property 2018, Property 2019. And that way, if the stuff gets broken into, I can just go take the file down to the local pawn shop, because a lot of stuff ends up in local pawn shop. If it's stolen, people just, I want to make a quick $1 and flip it. Or the pawn shop a couple towns down. Or if it's a gun that gets stolen, I've got a picture of the gun. I got the serial number. It can get reported as stolen. It's also evidence of what I own. So if I have a total loss, or I have a level that gets wiped out or burned out or stolen, I've got proof of what I own. And that just took time. It took time and a digital camera and a little bit of work, and it's done. So that's another thing you should do, is have pictures of all of your property. Store it someplace safe where you're not going to lose it. So if you lose something, it's like, yep, here's a picture of that AR that was stolen out of my gun safe, or here's that pistol that was stolen out of my drawer in my house.
Well, I think it also helps to be aware of your neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
We live in the middle of our street. Every one of our neighbors are home all day long, every day, and we have 2 big dogs that go absolutely nuts when anybody comes near the house. So we don't need Fort Knox security at our house.
Yeah.
But if you live in more of a dangerous neighborhood, or more of a rural area where, your closest neighbor is a half a mile away, you might want to consider stepping up your security there.
Well, the town I live in, small town, 10,000 people, are like, oh, what kind of crime do you have there? I mean, this is the kind of town where people roll up to the gas station with their vehicle running. They go inside, get their lottery ticket, get their newspaper, get their coffee, go back out to their vehicle. I think I've heard of one vehicle getting stolen from the gas stations since I moved here. And it was somebody just playing a joke. They jumped in the car and drove off with it, and it was reported stolen. So, I mean, that's the kind of town I live in. But what happens is the majority of the population works at one particular plant. they're at work from either 5:30 in the morning until 2:30 in the afternoon, or 2:30 at night to 11. So you've got a 7 or 8 hour gap where they're not home. Everybody's at school. And I think a lot of people take advantage of that. You know, this dude that bought that 70-inch TV, and you got a friend that might just show up at that house and get in. We do have occasional break-ins. It's been worse in the past, but it's gotten better. So it can happen in any town, any neighborhood. You can get that random break-in where you get a smash and grab. Lock your doors, obviously. That's the first thing you should do. Maybe have some sort of a security system if possible, as a deterrent to protect your property. But again, and and David, like you said, it can depend. If you got dogs, if the neighbors are home and they're kind of they're kind of I don't nosy about who's kind of coming through the neighborhood and who's hanging out where and stuff. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Where that's definitely a nice deterrent to have too.
Well, you just have to be aware of your surroundings and be, reality. If you live, I don't live far from Baltimore City. If you live in downtown Baltimore City, you're going to want the highest amount of security that you can possibly get at all times.
All right, gentlemen, okay. I must go.
All right, AWAG. Take care, man.
Yep. Have a nice day, AWAG.
Gizzard Gary was with us earlier. Gizzard, thank you for joining us too. I know you had to take off too, so it's busy Saturday morning for people. But yeah, so again, the amount you want to spend and how much you want to invest in it, it's going to depend a lot on your neighborhood. Is it a high crime area? Is it not? But again, you just you never want to be too careful. It's always good to be too careful, if anything. So, all right, so let's shift gears here now. And the last thing we're going to talk about is the question was, what are your thoughts on paper versus steel targets, paper for training versus steel for training, and steel target shooting safety? All right, I'm going to put a link on the video on the YouTube side and on the gun channel side. I've been watching the comments lately, guys. I apologize. I've been looking information up here. And the link is for how to safely shoot steel. What should you buy for steel? How thick should it be? What do you need to know about it? Because obviously we don't want anybody to get hit by ricochets, or maybe you've got some property and you bought that steel target. Do you know what you're doing? And so let me just go ahead and share this with you guys. Do you guys have any experience shooting steel, or what are your preferences, steel versus paper for, say, training? Just what do you guys think about that? What are your thoughts?
Well, I would say if you're going to train, and especially if you're sighting in a rifle or you're trying to have some type of accuracy for a specific reason aside from just, pulling the trigger to have fun, I'd go paper, because obviously there's bullseyes and different points on the paper that you can hit the target, where the steel is generally just a big round piece of steel. Like, you don't actually, on a paper target, you've got the bullseye you can aim at, where on the steel target, you're just aiming at the center of the target.
Hit it, just to see if you can even connect with it, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so, when it comes to paper, you can get your specialty targets, your silhouette targets, your reactive targets. When I film on camera, I try to get the reactive targets, but I've noticed lately I've been doing more of a silhouette target. Not for being realistic, but it's just simpler to show what's hitting. And I like to buy the big silhouette targets, especially when I dial in a rifle or I'm trying to fine tune a firearm. I want to know where those rounds are going. And sometimes it might not land on that little 10-inch paper target. I'm trying to figure out where the shots are going, especially when you're shooting certain optics for the first time. Paper, you got a lot of specialty targets for certain training and exercises you can do. I do like to prefer to use paper for 100 yards or less, or most of my handgun shooting is going to be done obviously with a paper target. But I do shoot steel. I shoot steel with rifles and also pistols. And there's just some basic precautions you want to take when you're shooting steel. David, do you have any experience, or Sandhills, do you guys have any experience shooting steel targets at all?
No steel. I'm all paper right now.
Okay.
A little bit. The place that's up by my dad's, where there's actually just 2 miles from his house, there's a 100-yard rifle range that the community just kind of got together, and
okay,
it's a huge hill, so they didn't even have to build a berm. They just put some posts in the ground and some wood, as a backstop, and you can staple targets to it.
Sure. And
then there's a really good concrete bench there that you can shoot off of.
Okay.
And so it's really nice. What's cool is I like to shoot the paper. I've got the shoot and see or dirty bird or whatever.
Yeah, dirty bird targets. Yeah.
It's got the 1-inch squares on it, so I can tell. When I'm sighting in, I can get right in there. But then further up that hill, about halfway up that hill, somebody has taken some pipes and just built some steel gongs. And there's one that's up there. It's about an 8-inch or 10-inch round gong. I'm not sure which it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I hit it with the rangefinder, and it's just a hair over 200 yards.
Okay.
And so once I'm dialed in, then I like to shoot that and check and see, is this, because I try to sight my 243 in about 2 inches high at 100.
Okay.
And then I can hold dead on that gong and hit it. And I know if I can hit that gong consistently, that I'm going to hit the kill zone in a deer consistently. And I don't go for sub MOA accuracy in a deer rifle. I go for sub minute of deer. So as long as I get a one-shot kill, a clean, ethical kill, then it's good enough for me.
Okay.
And so, as long as it's good enough that I can hit that gong, I know it's about the same size as the vitals on a whitetail deer, and we're good to go. So that's the only steel I've ever shot, but it's nice to get that instant feedback, because I'd have to go up a hill, cross a fence to see it otherwise. So when you're sighting in, it's tedious, but shoot 2 or 3 rounds, go walk down range, and you get some exercise out of the deal. It's
God,
healthy,
yeah.
still pain in the neck if you don't have a spotting scope.
Long distance gongs, when you start talking 200 or 300 yards, you can learn how to use the minute of angle marks on your crosshairs if you have them. You can learn a little bit about how wind is going to push you around. I'm kind of following the same philosophy as you. I'm getting that 762 by 39, the Ruger Ranch, dialed in so that it'll be ready for deer season in January.
Nice.
It's the same thing. I want a nice, maybe a nice 2-3 inch group at 100 yards minimum, right? I'm going to try to make sure that's where it's at, if not tighter. And then just, can I hit the gong at 200? There we have some coyote steel targets, and we actually have deer steel targets on the range that I shoot at that are full-size deer that are made out of AR 500 steel. And then even further, we've got gongs, and we've got a huge, we have a bear that's out at 800 yards, I think, that you can shoot at. And so it's fun. Can I even tag that thing? And if I do, how am I going to have to aim, as my crosshair is going to hit the target? Because, at 300 yards, a 762 by 39 has something like 21 inches of drop. So what kind of an MOA adjustment am I going to have to make? So if I want to take that shot, granted, I don't want to shoot my deer at anything further than 200. I just because I want, again, a critical hit. I want an ethical, clean, fast kill on the deer. So yeah, no, I hear where you're coming from. But yeah, but it's just kind of fun. The ringing of the gong is awesome when you shoot it. 1 second later, boom, you actually hear it. You hear it peg it.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
All right. Obviously, this could be a long conversation, so I'm not trying to drag anybody down any rabbit holes.
Go ahead.
But I'm not a hunter. Why wouldn't you shoot a deer in the head? Like, why? Is it because the target's smaller, or is it doesn't kill it as effectively? Like, why do you shoot for the heart, lungs, stuff like that, as opposed to shooting it in the head?
For a couple different reasons. Number one, just what you said, it's harder to hit because the head moves and the chest stays put when they're walking along grazing, or they got their head up looking around. That head can turn between the time you pull the trigger and the time the bullet gets there. Whereas that chest, even if they take a half a step, they've moved a couple inches is all. But you're still within that area where you're going to take out vitals. If it's a huge trophy buck, you don't want to shoot him in the head, because then you've ruined your trophy.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the other part of it, is your mount's going to be, you risk hitting an antler, doing damage on the other side when if the bullet would come out, you're going to deform the skull. It's going to destroy your.
And not only that, another issue is just the mess. It's messy anyway if you have to load a deer up. You dress it in the field, obviously, wherever you can. But if you can't do that and you got to get it home real quick and get it, field dressed out there. In Nebraska, we just say gut it, because that's what you're doing. You're taking the insides and putting them on the outside. But to have, because I've had to finish a deer where I made a poor shot. I've had to finish a deer off in the head, and it's messy. And then you've got this head wound bleeding out all over the place. It's nasty. So even for just peace of mind, I recognize the fact that well, not everybody maybe believes what I do, but I believe that God created these animals. He made them yummy because he wants us to eat them. And it's also partly, herd management. I mean, you've got to take some of these out of the herd to keep the good of the herd, the health of the herd up there. But for whatever reason, I don't want to be brutal, and to me, it feels more brutal to shoot one in the head than just to shoot one in the heart and lungs. And they're not going to feel it. They're going to die right away, or else they're going to run just a little bit, but they're dead and don't even know it. And again, the target is the best reason why, just because that's the part you want to aim at.
Now, there's some guys in the chat saying, well, I always shoot mine in the head. Go ahead. We're not saying you shouldn't. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. With me, if I'm doing a 300-yard shot, in my opinion, I mean, it depends on what you're shooting. It depends on how precise you are. You might do a 6.5 Creedmoor and you can hit a dime at 500 yards. Great. For me, I like that vital area when you're talking the lungs and the heart. With all the variables involved in it, I might be shooting off a shooting stick. I might be using a tree branch to steady my rifle. I'm going to be dealing with some sort of a crosswind. I like having that larger area, that 8 to 10 inch circle of potential for that kill shot. So, and I'm going to be honest. I mean, anytime I've ever hit one 15, 20 yards down, of course, whether you're using a 30-06 or 308 or 270 or 243, I mean, they're not going to get very far, especially if you do a heart lung shot. And if you want to do a headshot, we're not trying to discourage anybody from killing however you want to kill. But
and I've heard another argument too, where I talked to a guy that said, "Well, I neck shoot all my deer," which there is an argument to be made for that, especially at the end of the day or whatever. You're getting into low light. One of two things is going to happen. You hit that deer right in the neck, and it's going to drop, and it's not going to feel anything, and it's not going to run off, or it's going to be a clean miss entirely. And either way, you don't have to go track a wounded deer after dark. So, I mean, the biggest thing is know what you can do, and if you feel like shooting it in the head is a shot that you can make, then yeah, that I'm not going to say not to do it. I'm just going to say that I won't do it.
Yeah. And then with us, I mean, you might say, well, I don't want to track them. What if they go run off 50 yards? If it's an open prairie, you're going to find it pretty. I mean, when they hit the ground, it's a little bit harder to see them because they blend in with the sand and with the grass that's growing out there. But the blood.
Well, you're going to see some country in January where
all right,
the deer can run over a hill, and when you track that deer over the hill, you get over that hill and realize, oh shoot, there's about 12 different fingers of different draws and canyons that this deer could have gone down into.
Oh no, I've had friends shoot them and they fall into canyons, and it's a nightmare getting them out. It's awful.
And to be totally honest, the more likely scenario is we're going to be sitting by an alfalfa field. You're going to and in January we don't trophy hunt. We can only shoot antlerless whitetails in January.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a doe. But you're going to shoot her. She's going to run off, like you said, 15, 20 yards, or not at all. She might just drop on the spot, and you're going to be able to see her the whole time. I mean, that's the most likely scenario, but you got to be prepared to track down what you shoot no matter what. That's hunting.
Okay, so back to targets. Okay, so back to steel targets. The first, don't be afraid to shoot steel targets. Obviously, you want to wear safety glasses because you could have some potential fragments kind of come back and bounce off you. I shoot steel targets a lot in my videos. I'm always at least 10 yards away, if not further, when I do the shots. I like the steel targets because I find them harder to hit than a paper target because you don't get that bullseye. You don't have that little orange spot to shoot at, and it surprises you how difficult it is, like on a dueling tree, to hit that little 5 or 6 inch circle or those bowling pins that you're shooting at. Okay, at a minimum, you want to get yourself a steel target that is AR 500 or AR 550 grade steel, and I wrote just a few little pointers down for you here. All right, so obviously, you shouldn't use bimetal ammo, and I'm sure I'm going to get corrected on this or fact check, but I was told not to use bimetal or steel core ammo. If you're going to be shooting with the 5.56 with your AR, green tip armor penetrating ammo 62 grain, etc. And we all know that rifle ammo is armor penetrating anyway, but that's going to do a lot more damage to your AR-500 target. So if possible, make sure you're just using lead bullets, copper-covered lead bullets. If you got a 22 LR rifle, you should get yourself at a minimum 1/4 inch AR-500 steel. 5.56. Now, for the 22 LR rifle and a 5.56 rifle, they say you should have a minimum distance of 100 yards. So when you see these clowns in these YouTube videos that take their pistol caliber AR and they're walking right up to that silhouette target and they're shooting it, that's probably one of the dumbest things you can do, in my opinion. Now, you can disagree with me, and that's fine. But I mean, at that velocity, at that close of a range, you're going to step up within 5 yards of a steel target and shoot it with an AR, with a 300 blackout or a 5.56 AR carbine. First of all, it just doesn't look good from a gun safety perspective. And second, I mean, just the chance of something coming back at you because of the excessive velocity. So at a minimum, you should do 100 yards with 3/7 inch or 1/2 inch thick AR 500 or AR 550 grade steel. Try to make sure your ammo doesn't exceed 2,800 feet per second, if possible. The rating that they give on that link I put up in the chat for you guys for the AR 500 steel was 55 grain ammo, 2,800 feet per second max at 100 yards. Anything less than 100 yards, and you could be looking at the potential for ricochet, not necessarily at you, but there could be another range downfield from you where something could splatter and go off to the side. It could ping off and hit a car or something. I mean, there's so many factors involved in it. You should have at least a 20-degree tilt on your fixed targets. It doesn't really say anything about the gongs or the flat steel targets that you're going to be shooting at.
So question.
Guns. Yeah.
I understand the minimum safe distance all that, but does it make a difference too if the steel target is completely static versus like a gong or something that can swing a little bit? Because like a spinner target, if you ever shot a spinner with a 22, typically you can look right underneath of that spinner and find all your flattened 22 bullets.
Yeah.
Because all the energy is transferred into the spinner and the bullet just drops.
Well, and most of those are at some sort of an angle. When they're sitting there, they're at a 20-degree angle, if not a little bit less or more. So there is an angle to cause that projectile to go straight down.
Right.
The dueling trees I shoot, everything I shoot at's got an angle to it.
Does that make a difference too as far as the safety goes? Because I've never shot at close range, not shot steel before.
When you're doing a hanging gong or a hanging target, I would say you want that 100 yards. When I shoot the gongs in my videos at 100, 200, 300 yards, you do see the splatter go down, but sometimes you hear a ping. So, I mean, if they're not at an angle, they should still splatter, but they could splatter outward, upward. So you might only see what's hitting the ground, but they could splatter to the sides or go straight up too. The shrapnel and the chunks of the projectile and so on. That's why I think they recommend 100 yards minimum if you're going to be shooting some sort of a steel gong with a 5.56. Now, when it comes to anything above that, I don't have any information for you. I'm just going off of what I found. So, yeah, for the gongs and stuff, and all the gongs I shoot are at least 100 yards away. So I'm not going to take any chances. The one thing I notice is that the targets get chewed up pretty good at the range that I shoot at because guys are shooting at everything. They might use a 308, an .6, 7.62 by 39. They might be using cheap steel core ammo. And you get some pock marks. You get some pretty good dings, splatter marks, craters in these gongs. Sorry, guys, I'm coming down with a cold. And when this stuff hits, you could start throwing those projectiles off at some dangerous angles if you got some craters that you're shooting your ammo into. So when the target gets really chewed up, you definitely want to look into replacing it at some point, or if you refinish it or whatever you do, flip it around. Be really careful with it too. So it's something you need to watch out for. Let's see. Now for handguns, up to 45 ACP. This is, again, from the link that I shared with you guys in the video. 1/4 inch AR 500 or AR 550, which is more expensive but harder. The AR 500 steel is a harder steel that's designed to absorb ammunition shots. It's not, I wouldn't recommend you just go take any plates of steel or iron and go shoot at them. All right. I mean, I would definitely be very careful. If you're going to do that, give yourself some serious distance. I would say just invest in a good set of gongs and steel targets. For handguns, up to 45 ACP, 1/4 inch AR 500 or 3/8 of an inch AR 550. For 22 LR handguns, which kind of surprises me, they say that you want a minimum distance of 10 yards. Make sure you got that 20-degree tilt on the target, and you should be set. So I've had small chunks of I don't know if you want to call it shrapnel or splash, come back at me and hit me. I've had it hit me in the face before, but nothing that's ever broken the skin. But you can sometimes feel little particles come back at you if you're shooting at 10 yards, which is a lot of times when I film, that's what I'm shooting at. I've noticed it more with lesser powerful calibers, 9mm, 380. When it comes to 357 or 44, that round is so powerful and going at such a high velocity it's going to just shatter when it hits the target, or it's going to knock the target over and continue behind it. I've never really had that happen, but it seems like with 9mm, I get a lot of particles that come back at me. So obviously, safety equipment. You want to make sure you got your shooting glasses on. You want to make sure you've got whatever protective equipment you need. And it kind of scares you a little bit because you feel something hit you. You're like, Jesus, was that a bullet? So when you're shooting steel, it's an unusual experience the first time you do it. But if you do it carefully, you should be fine. I know we watch the Hickok 45 videos, and I'm not going to criticize him, but I mean, he does get kind of close to some of his steel targets. I am surprised that he's never been hit before with the ricochet that's done something to him, considering what he shoots targets with. So now, real quick, I want to go back on something about the deer hunting. This was a question that was posted, I think, Dead Horse. Sandhills, what's your opinion on this? I would say it's okay. Buckshot on a deer at 50 yards. It's gonna. I see what buckshot can do to a target at 50 yards. I've seen 50-yard gel tests with buckshot. I would say.
I assume there's a reason why.
Yeah, go ahead.
I assume there's a reason why it's called buckshot. I assume that it was designed to take down a deer.
No, if there's a minimum velocity that you have to have for hunting with shotguns, make sure you know what that is. Yeah.
Check your state laws, because buckshot is not legal in Nebraska. A shotgun has to be 20 gauge or larger, shooting a single projectile, so it has to be a slug. But in other states, just know your laws. And I guess I don't see, again, if you know what you can do with a shotgun and it's choked right and everything else, I would assume, never having hunted with buckshot, I would assume you'd want it choked down a little bit tighter than you would for home defense. But I don't see that would be a problem. I mean, it's got the mass and the weight to penetrate, and I mean, we all know what a shotgun can do at the range it's designed to do it at. So
I would recommend getting the most powerful buckshot you can buy. Get yourself a 3.5-inch shell, some sort of a magnum load if possible. You're going to want the most potential energy transfer possible. So I would say,
agree. But if it's legal in your state, then clearly the Game and Parks Commission has deemed it as okay. So, but I mean, I know every state's got different laws for calibers or rifles versus shotguns. Like somebody said, Illinois only allows shotguns, and I know Iowa's that way for firearm. You can't shoot a rifle at deer in Iowa either. So just know your state laws, or know the laws of the state in which you're going to hunt. And if you can take a deer down with buckshot and it's legal to do so, then again, do what you got to do. Anything that kills a deer right away, any fast, clean kill is, in my book, ethical. So
another question from not a hunter. I guess if you were in a survival situation and you had a shotgun and there's a deer, you shoot it with the shotgun. But wouldn't you have to pick all the shot out of the meat if you use buckshot on a deer? Like,
you're only talking what, 8, 9 BBs? Is there more than that in a 3.5-inch?
It's not going
to be peppered with like 50 little tiny BBs you're gonna have to pull out. There's a limited number. I don't know what the number is for double-aught buck or whatever, but you will potentially have to do that. Yeah, you're gonna have to pull it, and it's gonna. I mean, the area would probably be I don't know what it would be at 50 yards. I don't think it spreads as much as a person thinks it does. Again, if it's choked down and you're using a good high velocity buckshot, you might be looking at a tennis ball size, maybe softball size area.
I don't know what the energy transfer is going to be at a given range. Like, that would be my biggest concern with buckshot is there's still less mass than a slug, and so I mean, just know how hard that's hitting at a given range if you've got a way to measure the energy at a given range, because I mean, the last thing anybody wants to do is hurt an animal.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's going to make it a more difficult tracking too. If you don't drop it and it runs off 100 yards into the woods, you might not find it. So one thing about buckshot I will say is, you're looking at potentially each each pellet or each marble, whatever you want to call it, potentially is a 30 caliber round that's going to be going into that deer. So it's going to do some damage.
That's true. I guess.
Yeah.
I'm a little curious if Dead Horse or anybody else out there knows this one too, because I'm a huge fan of an exit wound in a deer-sized animal, because that's where you're going to get that blood loss and the extra shock, and again, the faster kill. So is buckshot going to go all the way through the animal the way that a 270 or a 30-06 bullet will?
It may not, but just the traumatic shock alone could be enough to down the animal, or the internal damage it's going to do. Now, I'm looking right now. Winchester makes high-velocity buckshot loads, copper-plated lead shot, double-aught buck, 15 pellets, 3.5-inch round, 12 gauge. The velocity is 1,450 feet per second. Now, that could be out of a 28-inch barrel. I don't know how much barrel length has to do with what kind of velocity you're going to get out of a shotgun barrel. But that is a very potent 15 pellets flying at 1,450 feet per second. I don't know what the energy transfer is going to be, but it's going to be bringing some serious energy behind it. It says here that the double-aught buck's been used to hunt deer, moose, caribou, and any large game. So I would say you're going to be fine using it, which is kind of interesting because we're starting to get into fall now, and a lot of guys are looking at their hunting options. David, you said you're not a hunter, but do you know in Maryland, is that a slug-only state for deer hunting? Iowa's a slug gun
I
state.
do know that Maryland is.
Maryland is? God. Yeah. I think it's because of the woods and the population density and just,
At the very least, there are parts of Maryland that are, because I've got friends near Baltimore that can't go hunting on their property near home with rifles. That's why they like coming out to Nebraska.
Oh, yeah, you can just...
that and the fact that they can see more than 50 yards in any one direction, and
you can see
the deer actually get a chance to grow out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have certain laws set where you have to be a certain distance away from any fixed, I don't know exactly what we'll call it, object, but they mean shed, house, garage, anything like that. And then, like you said, if you can see, 100, 150 yards in the woods in Maryland, good luck.
Yeah, I got a buddy from Connecticut. He explains to me, he's like, you going back your house that's right off the highway and you're deep woods, man. I mean, you're not going to see, it's dense. So I can understand why they require the slug hunting and the double-aught buck. I think we need to have a fall deer hunting discussion. Somebody had requested we do a how to get into deer hunting video. Or not a video, but just a discussion on the pod. We might have to do that here pretty soon. So there's one thing I've noticed.
Next Tuesday night chat, my first one. Maybe.
Hey, there you go. Hey, somebody suggested 2A Tuesday, by the way.
I saw that. I
like that. It's got a 2A Tuesday. Yeah.
The only thing about 2A Tuesday is I don't only want 2A topics. I want kind of a wide range of everything. It might not be gun related. So
how about this, man? Yeah, Hilltop Gun Chat. Done.
It's still going to be probably 90% or better 2A related anyway. So 2A Tuesday is really not a bad idea. It's really growing on me.
Yeah. I think we should have a nice discussion. Whenever pumpkin spice stuff starts showing up in the stores and at Starbucks, I get excited because it tells me I'm that much closer to deer season. It has nothing to do with the pumpkin spice. It's fall's coming,
I know.
Fall's going to be here. Everything's pumpkin spice. Fall's coming.
I need to switch my carry ammo out to the Hornady pumpkin spice loads.
Good God. I'm surprised they don't make that ammo that smells like pumpkin spice. They make lotto tickets that scratch and sniff in Nebraska that smell like pumpkin spice. Why not ammo? Why not, Oh God. So I'm excited. Now I want to talk deer talk, but I gotta get going here soon. All right. So anyway, for the steel targets, I hope I answered your questions about the steel targets. Go back and listen, make a few notes. I'll post that link in the video in the comment section from the steel target website that I use so that you guys can get the basic advice. Minimum 10 yards if you're going to be shooting handguns. Carbine. Now for pistol caliber carbines, I think you would be okay at 10 yards. You're going to get a little more velocity out of that barrel for a pistol caliber carbine. But again, if you're in doubt and you're using your rifle, obviously with rifle, 100-yard minimum. 75 yards is probably the closest that I shoot steel targets with, but they do have the 20-degree tilt, so I feel safe. But sometimes, it can be a little freaky the first time you shoot steel targets, but don't be afraid to do it. Paper for training, paper for dialing in your firearms, steel targets for more serious training. You want that reactive target, something that's going to shift and move. But just understand that steel targets you might be a little scared at first, but you don't need to be. You can shoot it safely. Blue Steel 44 said that Hickok 45 made a really good video on shooting steel targets safely. Go check it out. I mean, he's one guy that has more experience shooting steel than I think a lot of other people out there do. So I would trust Hickok's opinion on that. I mean, obviously, the guy's never been seriously injured in any of his videos that we've ever seen.
Or at least he's edited that part out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've never heard of anything happening. I know somebody said that one, was it Antique Arms or what? I can't remember what somebody said. Or somebody major on YouTube got injured by a ricochet. So again, we just want you guys to be careful. I mean, we don't want, obviously we're not trained professionals here. We're just guys that go to the range and shoot. And we just want to share our advice with you and what we've been through and what we know.
What about the steel targets that they sell at Walmart?
They
never
claim
even
to
touched
be
them. I
AR
just see 'em.
500 grade steel. I think they're made by Allen, or they're companies that make other firearms accessories.
Yes, like Allen or Champion. Yeah.
They say they're rated up to 308, but I don't know. Maybe I need to pick one up and just shoot one with the 762 and see what happens. That's a good suggestion, David. I think I'm going to do that on one of my next videos, because they're 30 or 40 bucks, and for a couple bucks more, you can get a real AR 500 steel target from a reputable dealer. I'd try one. I mean, obviously, if you use, a steel core ammo and you're shooting it less than 100 yards, it's going to chew up that target quick. They might be about a half-inch thick. I think I've seen people post videos on Facebook or maybe Instagram of those targets and what it's done to it. And I don't know if they hold up well, but I don't want to badmouth them until I've tried them. So that might be something. Definitely shoot it with a 9mm. And I'm sure there's probably tests on YouTube where the guys show off what's happened to them. So yeah, that might warrant a test, I think. Cool.
I will say this: if you've never shot steel before and you have the opportunity, I recommend taking it. It is a lot of fun, and for shooting steel targets, you're going to get your combat accuracy. I mean, if you want pinpoint precision, or you're sighting in a firearm, paper's the way to go, not steel. But if you're just going for fun, or you want to be able to hit that 4-inch, 8-inch, 36-inch, depending on how far away you are, target, your steel will let you know in a way that paper just will not.
Squib, had you shot at steel targets before you came to my range before, or not?
One time, I went to Dusty's farm with Smeggy, and Ohio 45 ACP drove up, and he brought a steel target. And we were shooting paper all day, and near the end of the day, he set up the steel target, and we just had a blast. And since then, as far as I know, Dusty's bought some steel targets to put on his personal range, but I haven't been back since. I need to get back up there. And then when we shot at your place, we shot the moving targets, the tree, and I don't know what you call the one.
The hostage target with the little flap that goes back and forth. Yeah.
And I had seen steel targets years and years ago. I even tried making my own and shooting them down on the farm in Kentucky. Let me tell you, don't make it out of mild steel, because all that happens is the bullet flies right through it. I had all this elaborate setup that was weighed down, and so it would pivot back and forth, just like the trees that I had seen. I'm like, I can fab this myself. So I fabbed it out of scrap steel from the metal shop and brought all this stuff down and assembled it, and I had it all worked out. And yeah, everything I shot just went right through it. And I go,
Swiss cheese.
Yeah, pretty much. So
again, the 500 and AR 500, there's like a BHR rating, and it's the hardness of the steel. If you go 550, it's going to be a harder steel that's going to last longer. But again, it depends on what you're shooting it with, what kind of ammo you're using, what distance are you shooting at. Those factors all determine how long that steel is going to last.
You got to look at the size too. Okay, you're shooting at a 3-inch, 4-inch, 6-inch, 8-inch circular plate.
Yeah.
At handgun ranges with handgun ammunition, and you're hitting the plate. Maybe you're hitting the edge, maybe you're hitting the center, but it spins around, or it plinks, or it falls over and resets, or it falls off and you've got to reset it, or whatever it is. It lets you know you hit within that diameter. Now take your paper target. It's going to be a 3-inch, 4-inch, 6-inch, 8-inch circle, and you're trying to hit the dead center of that circle, but maybe you hit inside. What's the difference? There really isn't. And for combat accuracy, where you're just trying to hit the target, you're trying to take down the target in an acceptable amount of time, that sort of accuracy is acceptable. Now, if you're trying to do some pinpoint precision shooting match, blah, 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 yeah, obviously you want, you know, something a little bit tighter and a little, but when you're shooting at paper, depending on the lighting conditions and what kind of paper target you've got and your eyesight and a lot of different things, you may not see the hole. You don't know if you even hit within that 8-inch ring. If you hit an 8-inch gong, you're going to know you hit it. So in some ways, the steel has the advantages of letting you know right away. I mean, I use the shoot and sees like you use the Dirty Birds and stuff like that. Yeah. And those do let you know, but even then, there's sometimes where it's overcast and you really can't see, depending on how far away you are, unless you're looking through a scope or a spotting scope or something like that. So even at long distance, if you're hitting a 36-inch gong at 500 yards, and there's that pause, and then you hear tink off in the background, you know you hit that target. And I mean, you could shoot a smaller target at that distance if you want to, but I mean, for a lot of the stuff I've seen, it's a man-sized target at 500 meters, 500 yards. So I mean, it lets you know without you having to, you know, call ceasefire, clear the range, go down there. Or not a whole lot of ranges have butts where you're going to have somebody working the butts and they're going to mark the target, raise it. You're going to mark it in your scorebook. They're going to lower it. They're going to patch it, put it back up, and then you take your next shot. I mean, that just I've only done that once since I left the military. So without having that sort of system where you can see where you're hitting and dial in your rifle, the steel has some advantages that way.
Okay. Cool. Night Strike is with us. He has joined us. So Night Strike, what is new in your world, buddy? How you doing, man?
Not much. Good morning, guys. I just wanna do a quick PSA since we're on the topic of steel targets.
Palmetto State Armory?
Never buy champion targets.
Okay, so those are the Walmart targets, right?
Well, they sell them everywhere.
Well, at Walmart carries champion.
They sell them at Walmart.
Now that's supposed to be AR-500.
That's supposed to be AR-500. Look at that.
Now hold on. Here's my question: what ammo did you use, and what distance did you shoot it at?
Okay, I was shooting this at.
Were you doing 100 yards?
No, I was doing like 50.
Okay, were you using steel case ammo, surplus ammo? What were you shooting it with?
I was shooting it with caliber AP.
Yeah.
No Spring Hill shooter. It was not.
Was that 55 grain or was that 308 or what?
That was just normal 5.56 193 ball.
Okay, so you were using a lead, jacketed copper.
Yeah, 193 is the 55 grain.
The pivots were 7.62 by 39.
Okay, so just straight through.
They didn't go straight through, but
that looks like it's about a half-inch thick too. That's a pretty thick steel.
Yeah.
Okay, so
don't ever buy champion targets. They're garbage.
Yeah, if you do 100, like I said, what I was looking at the steel target information I shared with you guys earlier and put in the chat and stuff, you should be okay at 100 yards with their AR-500 or their AR-550. They might, that champion might treat the steel to a certain temperature and label it that because that's what the standard is. But do they actually test it? I don't know if that's typical of what's going to happen with other brands of steel. The steel targets I shoot at don't have any holes through them, but they're at least 100 yards or more when I'm shooting at them. They're 100, 200, 300. So
the problem is I have too much brush in the back that I can't get 100 yards. Oh,
no, I understand completely. I understand. So there you go. That answers the question.
I don't have the money or the equipment to lengthen the range. I have the space.
Yeah.
I just don't have the ability to lengthen the range.
So what I want to get one of those, and I want to shoot it at 100 yards with 55 grain, and then just see what kind of damage it does to it. So if you do it with what's recommended, if you can, what kind of life are you getting? Because you might be wasting your time and money. You might as well just go with something more professional grade or something a little more made to the industrial standard. Guys, make sure you check out Night Strike Show, hit or miss Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock Central Time. The only time zone that matters.
Travis is now my co-host.
Unofficial co-host. I will never be Smeggy. I will never be Smeggy. I would love to be Smeggy, but I'll never be Smeggy. So, yeah. Guys, we're going to wind this one down, but I think we need to do a couple drawings. So you've got about 30 seconds to get over to my 10,000 subscriber video and leave a quick comment on a suggested topic. And that's going to automatically enter you in the drawing. So again, guys, we're about to give away a Burris Fastfire 2 red dot reflex system. These retail for between $175 and $250, depending on where you get them from. The bad thing about this is if you don't have a gun to put it on, it's going to give you an excuse to go buy a gun to put it on. So I apologize if you win. It could be an expensive contest for you. If you get a chance, just test it out. Maybe let me know how it works for you. And then we're also going to give away a little Gun Channels care package. G-Web sent me a bunch of swag, so I'll show off what you're going to get in that if you win it. And I want to correct myself. I did a tabletop review of the Gun Channels PVC patch, and I ordered one, and G-Web sent me a bunch of other cool stuff. This right here, I said, oh, man, look, you get an NEA matte sticker. And my wife was watching it. She goes, that's not bad. She goes, that's Ellis. I was like, what? No, look at this. It's a guy with a black shirt holding a shotgun, and that definitely looks like Texas. And she goes, that is not Texas. She's like, what? And, okay, let me just say this right now. When I do those videos, it's a one take, and I don't realize how much I screw up until after I publish the videos. That looks like Matt, kind of,
No, that's Ellis.
Texas, man. So I do apologize to Ellis and Matt. I love you guys, but I didn't know. I mean, this Mr. Knives, come on, man. Look at that. You can tell who that's Mr. Knives. He's got California in the background falling into the ocean. I mean, Yeah. So anyway, I do want to apologize. So, okay, that was the 30 seconds. I'm now going to go ahead and screen share so you guys can see this is legit. Anybody that has commented on that video is eligible to win, and I will send it to you. All you got to do is PM me through, go to Caliber Corner at Gmail. It's either the Caliber Corner or calibercorner@gmail.com. It's over on the Caliber Corner page. And it's also in all my videos, the contact info. PM me your address. I'll send it to you, and just let me know that you got it. So, okay, we are screen sharing right now. So this was the 10,000 subscriber video. This is the YouTube random comment picker. I'm going to drop the URL in for the video itself. All right, can you guys see that all right? Are we good? Panel, can you guys see this? You guys can see this.
Yeah,
We see it. All right, because I never know what this stuff looks like on your end. All right, so there is the URL, and it's going to filter out duplicate users. So if you commented more than once or commented on somebody else's comment, you're not going to get more than just one entry because it has the users there. So let's go ahead and do this. It's going to, there was 80 unique commenters with 130 comments. We're going to go ahead and start the raffle and pick the random winner. There's the names flashing by of all the people that entered into it. And the winner is Doug D. Doug D got it. All right, Doug D's been a longtime viewer of the channel. Congratulations on the milestone. Asked the topics, favorite hunt, type of hunt, hunting company, and game taken. Oh my God, how appropriate for deer season. That may have to be next week's topic, guys. I don't know. Or Sandhills on yours. We'll call it the Doug D topic, right? So Doug D, you won the Burris Fastfire 2. Congratulations, buddy. Just text me, or I'm sorry, you can message me an address that you want me to send it to, and we will definitely make that happen. So congratulations, Doug. All right, I'm going to refresh it now. We're going to do another one here real quick. So let me show you real quick what you're going to get. Let me stop my screen share here. All right, so what you're going to get is a gunchannels.com care package. You're going to get the PVC patch. You're going to get the Old West Trading Cards promotional patch, if I'm not mistaken, the revolver. You're going to get the Mr. Knives sticker. You're going to get the Ban Ghost Guns sticker. Get it? Ghost Guns. All right, you're going to get the NEA matte sticker. You're going to get the Orange Life sticker, which is from, was it Owl Arms? I can't remember what.
Owl and Anchor.
Anchor and Owl Arms. I'm bad with that one. I apologize, guys. And then the License to Carry Small Arms sticker. I love that. That is awesome. So you're going to get that as a little promo pack. So let's see who's going to get that. Nice Strike, did you comment on my video or not?
I did.
You did. Okay, so let's go back to screen share. All right, let's get back here. Let's see who's going to get this one now. And again, all you got to do is just, again, email me your address, and I will send this out to you as soon as I can. Probably won't go out until Monday. Our post office closes in an hour and a half, so it would take me a while to get everything packaged up. But here we go, guys. All right, so again, we've got the 81 unique commenters. It looks like somebody missed the cutoff there to put a comment in. All right, start the raffle and pick the random winner. This is so exciting. I need to do these more often. I'll just start giving away stuff from my house. Give you like a used vacuum
cleaner.
Here's an
I
old
think you have to press it again.
Oh.
You can't win both.
No. Here's what we're gonna do. Okay, I have more than one of these available. Okay, We're going to do it one more time. If it happens again, then I'm going to go find a different comment picker. And so Doug, you're going to get that, Doug. Okay, that'll be easy. I can throw everything in one box. I have 2 sets of these. You're going to get the exact same thing. G-Web's hooked me up with quite the amount of swag. Let's go ahead and refresh the comment picker again. Now, this is a sample URL that's in here. Let me go ahead and just refresh the URL for the YouTube video. That is insane. Of course, with 1 in 80, I mean, it's different than 1 in 50,000 or something like that, right? Okay, so now we're going to go back.
Travis, if it goes on him again, I'm going to call Rick.
Dude, I'm using commentpicker.com. Take it up with the programmers.
I'm calling Rick.
Okay, 81 unique commenters. Oh, man. Wow. Stephen Dawkins. All right, congratulations, Stephen. You are the winner of the second drawing for the Gun Channel's G-Web's Care Pack is what we're going to call it. So, Stephen Dawkins, I need you to email me a mailing address at thecalibercorner@gmail.com, Doug DU2. I'm going to hook you guys up. And that's it. That takes care of that. So it'll probably be a little while before we do another drawing. Although this is pretty cool. Blue Steel's 44 saying that a deer hunting chat would be sweet. Yeah, we will definitely do one here. Once fall comes around, we kind of get that itch where we start looking at ammo. We start tuning our deer rifles for fall. So real quick, I just want to see who joined us. Again, over on the Gun Channel side, we had a good chat over there today. Patrick was with us. Sandhill's Dead Horse in the house. Who else we got over there? Paper Planecraft was with us for a little while there. Unfortunately, the chat is refreshed and it's not showing all the names. But thank you guys for watching the video over on the Gun Channel side. YouTube side, we had Vandalistical Vlogs with us. We had Blue Steel 44. We had Nemo Brown with us today. Tacos and French fries. I can't talk today. Sandhills. Steadley was with us today. Jorge Cortez. Hootie hoo. All right, man. Awesome. Welcome. Vanessa Kitty was with us too. She said she just added the comment. Okay. Stan was with us. All right. Stan, thanks for watching. And again, as you know, Stan the man, Stan from SS Pawn. Thank you so much for donating that Fast Fire 2 to the contest. It was a lot of fun. Guys, check out SS Pawn. And again, the phone number's in all my videos. You can call them, and they will take care of your firearms needs. Gizzard Gary in the house. Ghost Tactical was with us also. Rob D was with us. Let's see here. Trying to see who else joined us here. There's a lot of other guys. There was Night Strike was out. That's pretty much about it. Guitar Man Pete was with us. Hey, good Guitar Man Pete. Good morning. And Scott P79, one of the first persons to join in here. 187 Hyde is with us. All right, cool. So that's pretty much it. Midnight Range in the house. All right, guys. So that's it. I'm gonna let the panel just go ahead and plug any shows or anything that they want to plug. I do apologize. I feel myself coming down with the cold or some allergies. Go figure. I was around 15,000 people seeing Metallica yesterday, 2 days ago, so that's probably why. But this time we'll start off with the youngin' over here, David Bowling. Anything you want to say before we go? Can we expect some more cool videos on your channel? What do you think?
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Good conversation as always. Yeah, I'll be doing my range review like every Sunday. Probably not every Sunday, but most Sundays. And then there's a couple rifle reviews I'm going to do this week. And then obviously the 308 build, I'll start keeping people updated on that.
All right, cool. Hootie says Metallica came to Nebraska. Yeah, they sold out the Pinnacle Arena, 15,000 people. Also, I forgot Garage Guns. Thanks for joining in, buddy. I didn't catch you there when I was scanning through the chat. But otherwise, yeah, it was an awesome concert. They played for 2.5 hours. I haven't been a lifelong fan, but I went with a buddy who was a lifelong fan, and I do listen to their music, like I listen to a lot of music, and it was awesome. All right, so AWAC, thanks for joining us. Gizzard Gary, thanks for joining us. Night Strike, anything you want to plug before we call it?
Travis, I've got to say, I've not been a Metallica fan since they killed Napster, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that call them commercial sellouts. They say their music doesn't have the passion or the emotion or the drive that it used to have.
The last concert I saw was Korn. That's the last concert I saw. That was back in the 90s. So. Yeah. And, they played a lot of their older stuff. In fact, that had the biggest audience reaction. They were there to obviously promote their new album, Hardwired to Self-Destruct, but it didn't get
when they played like Ride the Lightning or they played Fade to Black.
No, that was 2002 was the last time. Anyways, but close enough. Check me out on my YouTube channel, Night Strike, and Hit or Miss Tuesday nights at 8:00.
8:00 Central.
Check out 3 German guys play video games on Never Enough Ammo's channel or on my channel.
Never Enough Strudel is what he should start calling the gameplay. So yeah, we're just a bunch of goofballs, just messing around, doing some gaming and stuff. It's pretty fun. I really enjoy it.
And if you haven't done so already, guys, I know you guys are commenting out there, but if any of you do videos or you like to watch videos, go over to guntube.org, create an account, upload a video or two, and share your firearms passion with everybody else, because we need more videos up there.
Yeah.
So go ahead and do that. Whether you embed the YouTube video from your YouTube channel, or you decide to say, screw YouTube, I just want to upload it to GunTube, go ahead and do it. We still got some space. We'll be all right for a little while. So go make a GunTube account today. You can support GunTube over on Patreon, because, again, Night Strike is basically bankrolling the entire process. He's not doing Google AdSense because Google just is ridiculous. They impose their restrictions on his homebrewed website, his homebrewed sharing platform. They want to put their will on him because they're paying the paycheck, and Night Strike said, no, not going to deal with this. He does not do AdSense revenue over there. And I'm sure it's the same way with Gunstreamer and UGEtube. These are very expensive financial investments. Let's little Patreon love over there for guntube.org, and that'll keep things rolling and definitely help out. So, all right, man, cool. Thank you. Sandhills, anything you want to plug, buddy?
Well, yeah, I got all excited about doing like a 2A Tuesday chat or something, and then you just reminded me that this coming Tuesday I will be at Metallica in Sioux Falls.
Yes, there you go.
So,
man,
we're gonna have to put this off a week, everybody. But the deer hunting chat will happen in a week from Tuesday. I won't be available for Hit or Miss Tuesday night at 9:00 either, just because I'll be hopefully getting my face melted off. I'll be down in the pit area.
It wasn't too crazy. The average age of the people at this concert was probably 50 years old, but there were some kids that were there.
Yeah, but this is going to be Sioux Falls. There's going to be all those Vikings that come over from Minnesota.
Hey, I want to speaking of which, I want to show you this T-shirt that I bought at the concert. Now, the one that I bought was $40. It's authentic concert merch, but they're selling knockoffs of it over on eBay. You're going to appreciate this, Sandhills. Are you ready for this, man?
Yeah, let's see it.
Here you go. Look at that. It's a Metallica Nebraska Cornhuskers t-shirt. Apparently, in all the states they go to, if they don't have a prominent college team, they have a pro team. I saw a St. Louis Cardinals version of this shirt, a Seattle Seahawks version of this shirt at the concert, Minnesota Vikings. So they basically take that college or pro logo and they give it the heavy metal treatment. So this will serve double duty as my new Cornhuskers t-shirt and Metallica fan concert shirt. So the funny thing is these are not official because they don't have the stamping on the inside, but these are about half the price of what I paid with tax. So these are on eBay for $24. I'm not saying you should buy one, but since you can't get the Nebraska one, I haven't seen anybody selling an authentic one yet. You could potentially get one if you want to go that route. So, and on the back of it, it's got the Pinnacle Arena and the date stamped on it. This one does too. It's got all the actual concert information on the back of it. So thought that was kind of cool. You get a kick out of that being a Husker fan.
Sweet.
All right. So Sandhills will hopefully get that new program up and running. We'll come up with a name for it. You can just call it the Unnamed Gun Show. The gun show without a name.
I'm thinking about calling
the
it
anonymous
Tuesday
gun show
at 9:00 because
There
it'll
you
be
go.
the real 9:00.
Let's call it Kick It Casual at the Sandhills shooter. There you go.
No,
You're just sitting in there in the recliner, got the slippers on.
You can't have 9:00. Tuesday nights, 9:00 is mine. You can't have it.
Yeah, but it's going to be 9:00 Central Time, which is the only time zone that matters.
Well, or a little bit later, because sometimes hit or miss. It's been starting a little bit late. I don't know what the deal
that
is.
hit or miss guy would get his
The reason it's been hit or miss.
I don't know who's hot to read o'clock, but 8:30 is not 8 o'clock. The last time I checked. I mean, I have to plan my bathroom breaks.
Okay, hold on, Travis. The reason we've been a little bit late is because Ghost has been having some really good topics.
I know. We don't want to cork anybody. I totally get it. It's awesome. I get it, and I've been in those chats, and I've had to bug out at the last second because I want to get ready for the next chat. So no, it's all good. It's all good. Nah, I mean, we try to respect each other's space online, especially with the podcast and keeping that audience going and letting everybody not feel like they need to leave one podcast to go to another one. But dude, we're just giving you crap, man. It's all good. It's all good.
If you guys out there in the chat haven't done so already, thumbs up this video. Comment on this video. Travis needs more thumbs and he needs more comments.
I need more than 2. And I love how I get that one. I get that 1 thumbs down. What's funny about that is that thumbs down. Are you thumbs down in my video, Night Strike? Is that you?
No, I thumbs up your video. I can prove
I got one person that consistently thumbs down every single video that I post, except for the G-Webs one. Maybe G-Webs. No, I'm just kidding.
Look, Travis. It says I thumbed it up. So,
dude, I'm just giving you crap. But no, it is funny. The funny part is that I got 2. No, I'm not even going to start this. That video gets a thumbs down before it's even 5 days before it goes live. They've already thumbed it down. I guess somebody's offended by gun safes or home surveillance systems. Or my recipe for delicious deer jerky. I don't know. I want you guys to understand something. I want to say something right now. Not that you want excessive thumbs down on a video, but as a content creator, it actually doesn't hurt you. I just want you to understand that the YouTube actually rewards you for a thumbs down on a video. They see it as a unique engagement with the creator, that you watch the video long enough to hear the content to dislike it. That they sold you on their AdSense, they sold you on their commercials. So when you thumbs down a video, again, it's not good to have excessive thumbs down, but it doesn't necessarily hurt the comment. It might hurt their ego, it might hurt their feelings, it might upset them a little bit, but it doesn't necessarily hurt them as a content creator. Just want to get that out right now. So
it very well could be G-Webs. Have you ever noticed that you don't get thumbs down on Gunstreamer? He's only
hardly get thumbs up on Gunstreamer
because he wants you off of YouTube.
Yeah.
No, I know better.
No. I'm just saying it's probably somebody that just does it as a joke and thinks it's being funny, or somebody that just does it because maybe they don't like me. That's fine.
I just want to throw out there real quick, Travis. Vandal has a cool comment here on the YouTube side.
Oh, no.
Hit or miss is actually the start time, not the name of Night Strike show.
Either he hits it at 8 o'clock Central Time, or he misses it at 8:30 Central Time.
All I can say is at least hit or miss is aptly named.
So Blue Steel says Night Strike, try not to kill yourself, and then something with Jesus. Man, I don't know. Okay, hit or miss is the start time, not the name. Shall not be infringed.
Shall not be infringed.
Gun Channels is a great place to communicate with others. Great channel. Axel Solace gave me something in Japanese. Thank you, Axel. We'll run that through Google Translate, and let's do that real quick. All right. I'm not going to do this with the camera turned on because I have no idea what this is, but I'm going to go ahead and run this through Translate real quick. These little letters. We're going to see what the message is.
It probably says hit or miss.
It says suicide.
Really? Okay. Sure. I don't know if that's, you know what? Here's what I think about that. We're going to go and remove that because that's not what we're about here. Okay, here. What about the one above it? There's another one above it, right below Neil Navis Perez's comment there. What's that one say? Since you got Google Translate open.
Travis, I think you finally got your first troll.
Really? Wow. How does he even know what I'm saying? All right, so
He's
we're going to
always calling you a moron now.
Really? Wow. Stupidity, bonehead, clod. Okay. All right. Well,
I got to go see this channel now, see what that's about.
Axel. Well, let's go to Axel Solace's channel and just. I'm not saying bully the person or do anything about it, but we're gonna put him in timeout. We're gonna put him in the corner because he's being naughty, and then, yeah.
He's got a video.
A video. Sweet. What's on it? Is it video games?
FDH 2.6 glitch.
Who? What?
No, it's a 23-second video about apparently some sort of game with a glitch.
So he's showing people how to cheat in a video game. Okay.
Could be.
Speaks volumes about your personality, bro.
More importantly, Vandal says he put up the one serious 2A video that he's made.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
That's what he meant.
All right, so that's enough fun. That's enough fun. We're gonna go.
You got your first troll, Travis.
I've had a couple. I've had a couple before that I've had to just ban them. I've had one or two that have just been absolutely ridiculous. So
we're so proud of you, Travis.
I don't know what I do. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us today. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Listen to me babble. Listen to all of us babble for a couple hours here. It's been 2.5 hours. It's been a great show. We could go on, but I got stuff I got to do, places to be. So unfortunately, I got to let you go. But guys, I want you all to have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. If you're going to shoot steel, do so safely. Do some reading up on it before you go do it. If you're going to buy a safe, listen to our advice. We gave you a lot of solid advice. And Squib, real quick, do you want to show us something before you go?
No. I just turn on the camera.
I keep seeing this cool gun box. It's like, what's inside?
No, I'm just playing with the camera on the phone.
I got you. I got you. Cool, man.
I'm setting up for a video I'm working on.
Is that the Marine edition or is that the Army edition?
Maybe it's a surprise. I don't know.
Maybe it is a surprise.
No, it's...
Oh.
Okay.
All right. It's all good. Okay, guys. Thanks for joining us. We're going to go ahead and call it. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. Have a safe weekend. Rest up. Have a good one. And we will see you guys next Saturday at 8 a.m. Central Time. All right. Take care. This has been Caliber Corner episode number